Maybe that happens with Merrill. We haven't yet seen the career arc.
I really hope not. I hope
not
that Merrill is this exact same. And he'll just get more mature too.
Yep.
But I just hope that has the exact same attitude with everything for his career.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It is hour one of Jon and Jim. Full reaction to something I didn't know was going to happen this year. The Padres have lost a game. It's relatively unexpected. They are 7-1. They go to Chicago. They fall today 3-1. Not without a fight, Jim. They put two in scoring position with 2 outs in the ninth before Jake Cronenworth with those Chicago ties struck out. Cubs take game one of the series. Well, full reaction, including Kevin Acee on the show in about 3 hours. Plus, we'll hear from Mike Shildt coming up momentarily. But the road trip is underway. The Padres suffered something that they hadn't all season long, Jim. Their first loss of the season. Somewhat anticlimactic, the way the Cubs scored. A couple of ground ball outs that scored runs. So there was an error in there as well against Manny Machado. But the offense was basically non-existent. A Martin Maldonado home run. Padres fall to the Cubs 3-1 on Friday afternoon in Chicago.
Who are you firing today?
I would trade everyone.
Me too.
There's a lot of explaining that needs to – no, I mean, no one is the answer.
Fire everyone.
We've been waiting for this for the last week, and they have finally suffered a loss after starting with 7 consecutive wins. So hopefully they can bounce back over the weekend. But they got decent starting pitching, Jim. They just didn't have any offense on a cold day in Chicago, and they lose a game, which I think over 162 is probably inevitable.
They were going to lose at least one game.
They were
this year, and I'm sure there's a bunch of 161-1 is still on the table tweets that are being put out there right now. I'm going to disagree with you on that. I didn't think Randy Vasquez pitched particularly well. Now again, he was squeezed on some calls in that game by the awful home plate ump. But through his first 2 starts, yeah, the ERA is nice. He's not giving up a bunch of runs, but he's really not throwing a lot of strikes. 5 walks today. That first inning, 30-plus pitches. He just did not have command. Now, again, it's freezing cold there. Probably can't feel the baseball. So, a lot of factors going into why he didn't have, good command today. And he got into the 5th inning, almost got through the 5th inning, only allowing 2 earned runs. But I thought that he was shaky at best. And those 5 walks, as a team today, Jon, 7 walks total. That's not been the Padres pitching staff through the first 7 games of the year. And then they were just, very uncharacteristic with, not doing the little things right today. Runner on third early in the game, less than 2 outs. Jake gets caught in a rundown. It was a contact play, but, they could not get that run home in that instance. And then besides the 9th inning, they just couldn't get anything going. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with Shota Imanaga because he's, a tough lefty and he's a good pitcher. So, him getting into the 8th inning there, probably a lot to do with why the Padres only scored 1 run today. But it was a uncharacteristic game from the Padres today. Didn't do little things right, walked too many batters, and that was the first loss of the year. Not surprising.
I guess the question for me would be, what are we really asking of Randy Vasquez? He leaves the game with 2 outs in the 5th inning in a 1-1 game. And then Yuki Matsui comes on, gets a ground ball, and Bogarts, maybe if he's a little quicker, he's able to get that force at second base. Yeah. They don't. Then
I was not watching that play.
Ground ball.
I wasn't watching that play, and I heard it on the radio. Did he have any shot?
No, it was a good play by Xander. I thought it took him a little while to get it out of his mitt, but it was a good play just to get to it. He probably saved a run by getting to it. But, if you're Randy Vasquez, I'm with you. Okay, 5 walks is a big number. But he also, to your point, was squeezed. He also, at one point in this game, sent down 10 consecutive Cubs. It's Chicago's home opener. Their offense has been good.
Yeah.
And you leave 1-1 with 2 outs in the 5th inning. I would have signed up for that immediately, automatically today.
I agree. I just think that early on in the season, I think the big thing with Randy is going to be throwing more strikes because, yes, he is your, 5th starter, 3rd starter,
4th or 5th,
even though he's sandwiched in between Cease and Pivetta. But, throwing more strikes is something that he's going to have to be better at. And the 5 walks today, I know he got squeezed, like you said, but I think going forward, that's going to be something that he's going to have to work on. Because I remember the first game of the year that he pitched at Petco. That was that Saturday night. I look up, great, got through 6 innings. He threw like 50 something strikes and almost 50 balls. That's a lot of stress on you as a pitcher.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would look at it like this. When it's 45 and there's high wind and it's the Cubs opener and you gave your team a chance to win the game, and then the bullpen was good enough. I thought this had nothing to do with Matsui.
No.
He got a couple of ground balls, and then offensively, they really made Presley work. I mean, he threw over 30 pitches there in the 9th inning. It was tailor-made there. You have second and third, 2 outs. You got Cronenworth. If he were to reach, you would have had you had a chance there. You're a base hit away from tying this game. You're a big base hit away from maybe stealing this game in Chicago. But listen, there's going to be games like this. I mean, they're not going to have, and not every game is going to go their way. They're not always going to overcome deficits. So it's just one of those days. I mean, is there any real indicator beyond that? The Cubs had 3 hits in this game. They had 3 hits. Now they had the walks, to your point. But the Cubs had 3 hits in this. I don't think there's any reason to really react to it other than to react to it because it's 1 of 162. But I don't think there's anything that played out here today that is anything that I'd concern myself with.
I agree. They're going to lose games this year. They had a chance in the 9th to tie this thing up, which, shows that they're going to fight to the end. Me and you have been joking a lot about Jackson Merrill the last couple of days, and just like his intensity. Like he just not only does he want to win, that's not good enough for him, right?
He wants to dominate.
He wants to not only dominate, he wants to like rip your heart out and eat your heart. And I'm thinking to myself in the 9th inning there, I'm like, dude, if Jackson does not come through here right now, he might not sleep tonight. And it's going to be one of the worst nights of his life. and it just, getting that hit to center, you're like, this kid's a stud. He's just an absolute stud. He always fights. And that's the type of attitude that this team has. And it feeds off of guys like Jackson Merrill, who it's the 8th game of the year, easily could pack it in. You're at the Cubs home opener. It's cold. Like, okay, right? Jackson's like, no, we are fighting until the end. And they did that. And Jake looked this, called strike 3 pretty much right down the middle. And you move on to tomorrow, and hopefully you can pick up a win and try to, get yourself back in the series to win the series.
Yeah, the thing for me is that, the Cubs have been a really good offense. And I want to say they outscored the A's wherever they play that series like 40-10.
In
They
Sacramento.
scored 1 million runs. And now you deal with the first loss of the season, and now how do you bounce back against a decent team? I feel like the 3 teams they played this year will all vie for the postseason. Some way or another, I don't think Atlanta's the 0-7 team that we've seen. Cleveland last year was in the postseason. Chicago's expected to win the NL Central. So you start your season with 3 teams that are expected to maybe be in the postseason before you get, Sacramento coming up next week. How do you respond to this, right? What does it look like this weekend? Do the bats come to life in colder weather? Can they rebound effectively? And it's not like the season's on the line this weekend either. But now can you avoid losing your first series of the year by winning each of the next two days? We said yesterday, would you sign up for a 3-3 road trip? We both said no. They're 7-0. Like, we're not settling at 7-0. But now that you've lost the first game, can they still have a 4-2 trip? Or would you settle now for the 3-3 trip? I think 4-2 is still possible based on what we've seen from this team. And again, the A's are part of this 6-game road trip. But it's going to get harder, and it's going to get stiffer. And maybe the Cubs are a team that the Padres match up with later in the year, Jim, in the postseason, because it's a Chicago team that's expected to win this division. They're 6-4. They've played well over the last 4 or 5 days since that Dodgers series in the middle of March in Tokyo. So, it's a good test like the first week of the season has been.
That's a great point. The 3 teams that they have faced, I know the Braves are 0-for, but the first 3 teams that they have faced, those are good teams. They're good teams. Then they're all, you're right, going to be competing for playoff spots, come the end of the year, I believe, because I think the Braves roster, even though they're 0-7, the Guardians will definitely be competing in that division. And the Cubbies are probably the favorites to win the Central. So, you're facing good competition through the first week of the season, and you're absolutely holding your own. 7-1, I mean, if you told me last week, would you sign up for 7-1? Like, yeah, I would sign up for that in literally less than a half a second. So it wasn't like a blowout today. You're right. It wasn't a game that was an embarrassing loss. They fought to the end. They had a chance to tie it up in the 9th inning. They just didn't get the job done. I think another part of this game, Xander should have had 2 home runs.
Well, the wind.
At least
100%.
At least 1 home run today.
Yeah,
I am shocked that Martin Maldonado, my boy, got one out of the ballpark. You know, it was like that is the typical Chicago ballpark wind right there, where you could hit the ball literally perfectly on the barrel and still be a can of corn. You're like,
well,
what?
I thought it impacted the Cubs too. Like
yes.
There was a Dansby Swanson ball. There was another ball earlier, but you're right, because you have to be careful early in the season, and we'll hear from Mike Shildt, Jim, coming up on the other side. You have to be careful early in the season to reference stats from players because the sample size is so small. So, for example, like I look up today, I texted you. I'm like, oh, here we go again. I mean, Bogaerts is hitting 200. Well, he's a wind-aided fly ball away from having like 100 additional points on his OPS, or 2 wind-aided balls away from having like 150 points on his OPS and 50 points on his batting average. So, yeah, I like that Tatis has gotten off to the good start. We've talked a lot about Jackson Merrill with the extension. We've talked about Manny. But, like, this is 8 games, Jim, where you go 2 for 3, you raise your batting average 50 points. You go 0 for 3, you lower it 50 points. I think you got to be cautious, especially when the team is playing well, to react or overreact or just react in general to anything that's played out over, like, 20 ABs or 25 plate appearances.
Because, yeah, Xander hit the ball pretty hard today. Nothing to show for it. And guess what?
Right.
That's what we call baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if Xander was rolling over everything and striking out a lot, then I would feel differently. But like I said, he should have at least had 1 home run today, and that win brought that baby back. So nothing to overreact to here. You almost like, it's going to sound weird, you almost welcome it, because it's like, all right, you lost the game, now you move on. You build off of this, and you try to come back tomorrow and win a ball game. It's just like, you can't expect to win every game. It's literally impossible in baseball. You're going to lose games. And today's game, they easily had a chance there in the 9th inning. They made their closer throw 30 plus pitches. So now,
good point.
Looking at the rest of the series, probably not available tomorrow, when you think. And so maybe use that to your advantage.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. We'll see how that impacts the remaining 2 days of the series. Padres fall for the first time this season. They are 7-1 in the NOS, where all of these teams, by and large, have gotten off to good starts. We have full reaction for you on the show. We'll hear from Mike Shildt coming up. On the other side, Kevin Acee will join us at 5 p.m. We have a great giveaway today as well. We're here until 6, just getting started. It's a wrap-up show edition of Jon and Jim, and it's next.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Jim Buttrell Real Estate Team.
South 5 crash before Loma Santa Fe Drive, still in that right lane, involving a big rig that backed up from Encinitas Boulevard. North 5 slowing because of this from the 56 to Loma Santa Fe. North 15 before Mission. Watch for a planter in the fast lane. Mark Zegan, San Diego Traffic.
Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Buttrell has the buyers. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Catch all the big tournament action and cheer on your favorite team at OG's. They've got something that'll satisfy all your taste buds.
Ready for the final games of the college basketball tournament? What if you could do more than watch? What if you could make money on the outcome? Now you can with Kalshi, the first platform legally available in all 50 states where you can trade on real-world events. Sports, Bitcoin prices, upcoming elections, even the Oscars. Kalshi helps turn predictions into profit. Use code RADIO or sign up and get $10 when you trade 100. That's KALSHI, Kalshi.com. Or download the Kalshi app and start trading anytime, anywhere.
At Tractor Supply, we know that a winning season out here takes practice, teamwork, and a can-do attitude. Thankfully, when it comes to teamwork, it's great to have a neighbor like Tractor Supply. No matter the season, our team members are here to help. Like you, they know that nothing beats the feeling of seeing all your hard work pay off. Whether you're caring for pets, chickens, or a few acres, we have everything you need to get the most out of life out here. Season after season, Tractor Supply. For life out here.
New at Sombrero, potato roll tacos. Classic roll tacos, now potato filled. Fillin' saucy, try them loaded. Top with grilled protein and creamy jalapeno lime or chipotle sauce. Roll in today.
Sombrero Mexican food. We cater too.
Hey, everyone in San Diego, this is Chris Hodge, the longtime host of Sports Investors Daily, sponsored by TakingVegas.com. We will be on every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. local for the next 35 Saturdays, breaking down sports wagering as a business. The number remains the same, 888-9-WIN-NOW, 888-994-6669. Also, text the word WIN to the number 545454 for daily free picks. And be sure to listen to me with Jon and Jim every Thursday afternoon at 4:30 local.
Have you received a notice of high water usage? You may have an underground leak. Don't wait for water damage. Call 800-450-LEAK or visit cpldetection.com. That's cpldetection.com. CPL, the company contractors trust.
Hey, it's Fletch, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. 10 million members, billions of dollars awarded and winning so far. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app, super easy to use to create a lineup. You just pick more or less on a few player stats for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money this baseball season. Springtime is here. Baseball season officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the Diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Download the app today. Use promo code FLETCH, FLETCH, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code FLETCH on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game all around the bases all season long on Prize Picks.
From the very beginning, iHeart has believed in me.
Even now, I still get excited when I hear one of my songs playing on the radio.
Thank you, iHeartRadio, for honoring the truth I've fought for in my music.
Because we believe in the power of music. All your favorite artists, all in one place. The free iHeartRadio app.
Dan Patrick.
Do I love the chaos and the madness? I do. But I also just want to watch good basketball. That's all. And if there's no upsets, no buzzer beaters, okay.
Weekdays at 6 a.m.
Do I think this is going to be the tradition? I'll go back to what I said initially. The big schools are just picking off these players from the mid-majors, preventing the mid-majors from making a run like this.
San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
All right, San Diego Sports 760 is your home for March Madness. You can catch all the action from the play-in games to the Final Four, which is this weekend. Coverage beginning Saturday at 12 on your home for March Madness here in San Diego. San Diego Sports 760. Jon and Jim with you. Padres suffer their first loss of the season, Jim. Now, have you heard this from Mike Shildt, or will this be the first time for you hearing it?
This will be the first time for me hearing it. Why did you see something he said?
No, I'm just curious what his overall sentiment is going to be. I would assume it's going to be very positive as the Padres started 7-0. This is their first loss of the season. They do quote unquote battle, as Jace Tingler would say. So let's hear from Mike Shildt. Where does this start, Brent? What's he asked initially? All right, he's asked about Shota Imanaga, who pitched very well in this game. He worked into the 8th inning for the Cubs, so he gave them a very good chance. So this is Mike Shildt, beginning with the Cubs starter, Shota Imanaga.
Yeah, Imanaga was good. Pitches through strikes. Didn't hurt himself. Made quality pitches when he had to. Thought the swings were good. Maldi got him. Had a good approach. Dottie with some good swings. Jackson, but he did a nice job.
Randy just struggled out of the stretch. A couple singles I have through a hole. What did you think of him overall?
Gave up 2 hits. Stuff's good. Kept him off balance. Just not enough. The free passes. 3 in the first and 2 outs, nobody on in the 5th, and only ball gets in the outfield in that inning and scores 2 runs. The found grass was his little base hit to left, and then a couple walks, and I thought Yuki did a real nice job. Give Tucker some credit on the hustle play to beat the force. Yuki comes in, does his job. Randy was good, just 3 walks.
Touched on it, but I imagine you can't ask for much more out of Yuki in that spot the way that inning went, just given kind of some of the bounces.
Yeah,
there.
We know they're going to go to Turner there. We like Yuki on lefties and righties. And you got to, make good pitches. Bogey made nice play. It was just good baseball play all the way around. Then you got the other ground ball. So Yuki did his part. Bullpen was good. Jacob did it. Wandy did it. Kept it right there for us to get the go ahead run to the plate in the 9th.
What went into the Diaz for Maldonado decision in the 8th?
To make sure we had the lefties ready for the 9th. Because we hit a lefty there, and then we got the righty coming in for Perez. There's 1 out, nobody's on. So Diaz is capable. Does that answer your question?
Okay. What do you make of what Maldonado has provided on both sides of the ball so far?
I think it's been good. He ambushed him for the homer and did a great job on the plate. Caught a couple of shutouts. He's been fantastic.
Obviously, no one's going to go 162-0. What's the message to the team after a great start this season you had and just today, bouncing back from today?
Enjoy a good meal and be ready to go tomorrow. There's no message really. Just come be ready to compete tomorrow.
What can you say about 7-0? Obviously historic. Guys have been playing really well. Sounds like you like the approach to everything today. What can you say about this start?
Yeah, it's a good start. Listen, we said it during the off season. Camp 44 is a good opportunity for us to connect the dots with everybody. Said it before spring training that we'd won our off season, and then guys come into spring training, ready to go physically, mentally. There's a coercion with the staff. Everybody's on the same page. What we're looking to accomplish individually, collectively in spring training. Then went out, had a full spring training, first time in a number of years. Took advantage of it. The guys really were completely in what we were looking to accomplish. They were ready to go individually as a group. We're ready, on point, and ready to start the season.
So not
All
much.
right, so that was. I'm back. I'm back. We were talking. So behind the scenes, I'm on the road.
Yeah, if you're watching us on YouTube, you see John. Are you in the kitchen or in the room?
No, dude, this is the bedroom.
Oh, you want to show us around?
I don't know.
Give us a little house tour.
Truthfully,
it's not good radio. It's
good
for
YouTube.
YouTube.
The wrap-up show, but
yeah, but
I'm in Palm Springs. You're in San Diego.
Correct.
So that was Mike Shildt. I restarted my equipment because I had some static on my side. So what did Mike Shildt say?
Well, kind of the things that we talked about. Randy Vasquez only gave up a couple hits like that. Thought his stuff was good, but he harped on the walks. And that's what we talked about there. He talked about Shota Imanaga being good. Shocker. He's a good pitcher, tough lefty. And overall, not much panic from Mike Shildt as you would expect after their first loss of the year. It felt like almost like, all right, let's go. Season's now officially underway. All right.
I would have loved. I would have loved that if he went crazy, this is
flip a table.
Yeah. Remember Melvin a couple times when things wouldn't turn over, so to speak. He would almost start calling out the team in that 2023 season. None of it worked, obviously.
No.
In 2023, I don't think. First of all, Shildt is so supportive regardless of the way the team is performing. Go back to last year's first half. The 4 or 5 game losing streaks. There would have been so many times for it to go sideways. And he didn't have to go sideways a year ago. I don't think he's going to be the guy to overreact to a loss when you've won your first 7 games.
Shilty, no chance. No
Right.
chance after what, we know Shilty pretty well. They lose a game, he is still going to be upbeat and positive. Losing the first game of the year in game number 8 of the season, yeah, Shilty has, no worry at all. I think what you could look at is today as definitely a big positive is the fight they had, right? Grit squad. They still fought to the end. They did not roll over there. And they could have easily rolled over, but they didn't. And they had the go-ahead run at the plate there in the 9th inning, and they just didn't get the job done. That's baseball. You move on. And I do like Shilty's kind of thinking of, all right, we got, our first loss of this season, and now it feels like the baseball season is underway because that it's not going to be perfect the entire year like it was for the first 7 games.
I was fully convinced they were going to tie the game up.
Me too.
The way they really did, the Tingler-esque battle, because they made Presley throw a lot of pitches. You made a really good point, which is how does it impact his availability tomorrow? Yeah, and even Sunday. At the end, he threw well over 30 pitches in that 9th inning. Cubs won the game, but maybe the Padres will be better for it on Saturday and even Sunday. All right, there's a lot to get to. Again, Kevin Acee is going to join us coming up at 5 p.m. here today. Very interesting comments from Bryce Harper today about people that complain about the Dodgers. We'll hear from Bryce Harper directly. Plus, why are automatic balls and strikes not already in baseball? After the success of ABS in spring training, why are we not utilizing ABS? And that was once again on display. We're going to say that 100 times this year. And once again, you could have easily said it here today. A ton to get to. Padres fall for the first time this year in Chicago to the Cubs 3-1. Kevin Acee at 5 p.m. We'll hear from Bryce Harper next. This is Jon and Jim.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they were 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media. Even twice as many teens than TikTok. And that reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for your business. Radio's here now more than ever, and iHeart's leading the way. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio, where the reach is real. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time, just call 844-844-iHeart and get radio working for you.
April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. It's time to highlight the importance of families and communities in preventing child abuse and neglect, which can have lasting effects on a child's mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Let's all do our part in creating safer, supportive environments where kids can thrive. Sometimes support is as simple as helping a family connect with services like food, medical care, or mental health support. If you need resources, visit the County of San Diego Child and Family Wellbeing website and leave a comment.
Hey, this is Rich from Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, and I know firsthand the crippling pain associated with lower body joint pain. I've torn knee ligaments. I had a back surgery that ended my NFL journey. Every day felt like a battle. Simple pleasures like just playing with the kids or walking down to the bay in Pacific Beach were overshadowed by constant searing pain. I spent years chasing remedies that simply didn't cut it, and then I discovered the Good Feet store. For over 6 years now, I wear their custom fit arch supports, and they've helped me experience a life with less pain. Imagine that. Now I'm able to work, play, and just simply be there for my family without pain. And with locations in San Marcos, Carmel Mountain, and Mission Valley, their help is never far away from you. Come in and try before you buy at the Good Feet store and embrace the comfort, energy, and performance that your life deserves. Pain relief could be on the horizon for you at the Good Feet store.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
San Diego Sports. Now.
All right, this update is brought to you by the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Padres suffer the first loss of their season today as they lost to the Cubs 3-1 in the Cubs home opener. Game 2 of their 3-game series tomorrow morning, 11:20 a.m. first pitch. Nick Pivetta will be on the mound for the Padres. And tomorrow night, San Diego FC takes on Seattle Sounders. 7:30 kickoff at Snapdragon Stadium. 7 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. And also the Final Four gets underway tomorrow. Duke versus Houston, Florida versus Auburn. Obviously, the winner of those games move on to the national championship game on Monday night. Step into springtime at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park from March 29th to April 20th. Celebrate the season of transformation with a stroll through Butterfly Jungle. Discover a kaleidoscope of beauty with butterflies of every size, shape, and color. Learn more about this vibrant world at sdzsafaripark.org.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Padres, as Jim just told you, lose for a first time this year. Home opener for the Cubs at Wrigley. Cold, but not rainy. Padres fall 3-1. We just heard from Mike Shildt. Kevin Acee will join us from Chicago coming up at 5 p.m. here today on Jon and Jim. We spent a lot of time this first week of the season, Jim, talking about how not only are the Padres off to this fast start, so are the Dodgers. And we've said, of course, right, the year that the Padres start 7-0 is a year where the Dodgers have started 8-0 heading into today. I think they're playing this afternoon in Philadelphia. Are they underway in Philadelphia? I haven't seen that score.
Don't know. Let me check here.
No, they're going to play in an hour.
In an hour. Okay. Yeah.
That's
the Phillies home opener, right?
Pacific. I think it is. I think that's the Phillies home opener. Is it? I don't know because I have no idea. I have no idea if it is or not.
I don't know either.
Because I feel like they would typically play their home opener during the day. But anyway, Phillies will host the Dodgers later today. So Bryce Harper was speaking with the media with the Dodgers coming into town. So you got the 8-0 Dodgers. You had the 7-0 Padres. I mean, obviously, we've talked about it a lot because the Padres and Dodgers have met in the last 3 postseasons. They've gone after similar players like Roki Sasaki. Listen to this back and forth. This is from Bryce Harper of the Phillies when asked about the Dodgers.
Yeah, I don't know if people like this, but I feel like only losers complain about what they're doing. I think they're a great team. They're a great organization. That's why guys want to go there and play. LA's a great city to play in, obviously. They're at the mecca of kind of the world of everything, right? From food to nightlife to sports, from the Dodgers to the Lakers to anybody. So, no, I mean they're going to continue to get guys. They're going to continue to pull guys from this sport. That's bullpen, starting pitching, international players, anything like that. They're doing what the Dodgers do.
What do you make of that?
So people that complain about the Dodgers are just losers. Bryce Harper's words. There's a lot of complaining about the Dodgers in Southern California. If you're not a Dodgers fan, this has played out over years, from the LA deferrals to their acquisition of Japanese talent to their overall spend in general in free agency. So I don't know. I mean, I guess some of me says, you know what? I kind of respect him for saying it because he's not going to use it as an excuse because they play in the same league. And it's not like at the end of the year, the Phillies will be like, well, yeah, we lost the Dodgers, but they're not going to say that. But some of me also thinks that the system is set up to advantage certain teams. And I think LA would be included in that. I'm not saying they're the only team that benefits from the system. Maybe the Phillies do too. But there's certainly a team that has benefited from the structure of Major League Baseball. I think that's fair.
I already see it in the chat. Only losers complain. Jim, proceeds to complain. Here's how I look at it. Bryce Harper is a baseball player, and he gets paid a lot of money to play baseball. So if Bryce Harper or any baseball player in baseball complains about it, then yeah, that kind of feels a little bit like loser mentality. Like, go out there and just, you can go out there and beat them yourself. You have an opportunity to, go play good baseball against the Dodgers. So sitting there and complaining if you're a baseball player about it, yeah, that kind of feels like loser mentality, because guess what? You go out there and you have an opportunity to beat the Dodgers. But Bryce Harper is a baseball player. He's not a fan. And I think if I'm looking at it from a fan's perspective, are Marlins fans and Pirates fans supposed to sit there and, be like, oh, well, Bryce Harper said only losers complain about this. So you know what? I'm not going to complain. Bryce Harper said it. I'm not going to complain about it. Like, no, from a fan's perspective, fans have every right to be upset or complain about this because they don't play the game. They're not paid millions of dollars by these teams to play baseball. Fans have the right to be upset if they want. I don't think any fan base other than Dodger fans are going to be sitting there saying, yeah, this is great for the sport. I love that the Dodgers are buying every player. I love that the Dodgers have every advantage that, my team doesn't. That's not how a fan's brain works at all. I think Bryce is off here if he is truly talking about fans, but if he's talking about just players, then he's right. But if he's talking about the fans and fans complaining about the Dodgers, then he's, I think, 100% wrong.
Well, if fans are complaining about it, it's a problem for the sport. If there's a belief that the deck is stacked unfavorably, by the way, I don't think it's just for the Dodgers. I think there's other teams that take advantage of this system, because you've heard this play out. Oh, it's not sustainable for the Padres, but it is for the Yankees, the Red Sox, maybe the Phillies, maybe the Giants, maybe the Dodgers. So I don't think the Dodgers are alone in having what I think some would deem to be an unfair advantage. But if the fans believe that to start the year there's only a handful of teams that can win a World Series, I don't think it's good for the health of the sport. I think just like if fans believe name, image, and likeness and transfer portal are benefiting the power and it's not good for the overall health of the sport, I don't think that's good for the sport overall. So, I mean, again, some of me respects what Bryce Harper is saying, but to your point, he signed one of the richest deals in baseball history when he signed it. He plays for a team that has one of the largest payrolls in the sport, advantages that other teams don't have. And at the end of the day, it's 26 on 26, so to speak. I mean,
John, you sound like you're on like literally Mars right now, by the way. You sound like an alien.
Good.
It's perfect. Yeah, you might want to reconnect. If you just started tuning in, John is in Palm Springs right now. He brought equipment with him that it's just not working, apparently. Sound like he's on Mars there, like he's an alien. So we're going to try to get John back there. Hi, John. If you're watching on YouTube, John's in his bedroom in Palm Springs. So we'll see if we can get back, but John there. So yeah, I listened to that and I understand too where Bryce is coming from. But if Bryce is truly talking about like, hey, if fans complain, that's loser mentality. Dude, bro, fans can do whatever the hell they want. All right. If Rockies fans or Pirates fans or Marlins fans want to be pissed off that, you know, the Dodgers are spending all this money, they have this crazy TV deal and their teams aren't spending, they can complain. But if Bryce is talking about players in the sport, like himself, like if Bryce went to a podium and started complaining that the Dodgers are getting all these players, then yeah, I agree with Bryce. That's loser mentality. You're getting paid just like the Dodger players are getting paid. You're getting paid more than a lot of players in baseball. So yeah, you shouldn't be complaining. But for fans to say, hey, if you're complaining as a fan, that's a loser mentality, I completely disagree with it. And I think Bryce is actually way off on this. Are you back, John?
I'm back from Mars.
Well, we'll see how long it lasts.
First of all, Brent said there was no issue with the sound until right then and there.
There wasn't. And that's why,
right.
I said that.
Okay, you said there was some issues with the equipment or something.
Well, that's what it was right there. There was issues.
That was the issue.
Yeah.
Listen, I see it both ways. It is a long way of saying that I understand his sentiments. I'm going to tell him he's wrong, but I'm not going to tell a fan that they're wrong either if they see what the Dodgers have done to be working against, you know, leveling the playing field in the sport. It's not really the Dodgers' job to level the playing field, though.
No.
You know whose job it is to level the playing field?
Other owners.
The owners and the commissioner's office and the MLBPA, because when they meet together every 6 years, and whether one side strikes or the other side, you know, initiates a lockout, they have to come up with rules that are favorable for both the Players Association and the 30 clubs. And whether they do that or not is on them. But once we're playing baseball on field, I do kind of agree with that. Like, we're not going to say, did we spend any time this offseason, Jim, saying, hey, the Padres lost to the Dodgers last year in the NLDS because the Dodgers spent a lot of money?
No.
Did we say it's not fair that they gave Mookie Betts a lot of money, or that it wasn't fair that Shohei Ohtani was on their team? No, nobody said that. Padres just didn't come through in the clutch. 24 consecutive scoreless innings. We don't need to rehash that, but nobody talks about it once you're in the season. I think it's a huge talking point in the offseason. I think it's a massive talking point in the offseason, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal once we get to the postseason this year.
I don't think so either. I'm not sitting there being like, oh man, the Padres lost to the Dodgers again because of their payroll. Like, no, they lost because they went 24 scoreless innings in the postseason. Yep. I don't think about that once team makes the postseason. I think about most of it before a season starts and in the offseason when teams are trying to get better. And when they're trying to get better, the Dodgers are the ones that are actually doing it by spending all this money, and other teams aren't doing that. I've said it before, like we just mentioned. I put more blame on the other owners around the sport than I do the Dodgers. I think when I look at the Dodgers, what upsets me the most is how they have this advantage that no other team has. That is what I complain about. And that is why, you know, this sport is now very top heavy as far as a payroll standpoint goes, not from a competitive standpoint, because there hasn't been a repeat champion in baseball since the early 2000s. So if you want to,
Yankees.
yeah. So if you want to talk about, parity in baseball, you can look at that data and say, absolutely, parity's great. But teams every offseason that are trying to get better, it's a handful of teams that can do it and that are willing to do it. Everyone else is just sitting there with their thumbs up their wheres and not spending any money. And that's where I complain. That's why I complain.
Yeah, I agree with that. Although to just tie a bow on it, I mean, the Mets spent $1 billion this offseason. Doesn't guarantee they're good.
No.
You have to be well run and you have to sustain it and you have to develop and you have to spend internationally and you have to be good with your GM in terms of trades and signings. So spending alone isn't the end-all be-all. It doesn't guarantee anything. But when you do it the way the Dodgers have done it over the last 10 years, development, spending, international signings, yeah, it does feel sometimes like the deck is stacked against you. All right, so we saw the brilliant rollout of automatic balls and strikes in spring training, and now we're complaining every single day about umpiring. Why is ABS not in Major League Baseball right now? We'll get into that on the other side. Padres fall for the first time this year in Chicago. Kevin Acee at 5 p.m. Jon and Jim.
San Diego Sports 760's NCAA basketball tournament coverage is brought to you by Valley View Casino and Hotel. San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the La Jolla Concourse de Elegance, presented by Events.com.
That South 5 accident cleared before Loma Santa Fe. You're still slow from Acosta. In the South Bay, South 5 before Palm Avenue. This crash off to the right shoulder. It backed up from Palomar. I'm Mark Zegan, San Diego traffic.
Experience the La Jolla Concourse de Elegance, presented by Events.com, April 25th through 27th. Over 200 legendary and never-before-seen automobiles from Bugatti, Ferrari, Rolls-Royce, and more. Showcased along La Jolla's breathtaking coastline. Tickets at LaJollaConcourse.com.
Parents like you are choosing water over sugary drinks. Visit UncoverHealthyHabits.com for more.
Ready for the final games of the college basketball tournament? What if you could do more than watch? What if you could make money on the outcome? Now you can with Kalshi, the first platform legally available in all 50 states where you can trade on real-world events. Sports, Bitcoin prices, upcoming elections, even the Oscars. Kalshi helps turn predictions into profit. Use code RADIO or sign up and get $10 when you trade 100. That's Kalshi. Kalshi.com, or download the Kalshi app and start trading anytime, anywhere.
Kubota Orange Days delivers the savings you need for the life you love. Shop a wide selection of equipment at your local dealer, including America's #1 selling compact tractor, and get your perfect match delivered to your door. Designed for comfort and built for performance. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. Sales ending soon. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
My name is Mac Davis, and I have been on the SOTA weight loss program for 14 weeks now. I have dropped 38 pounds.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's been remarkably easy to follow the program. It's been amazing.
SOTA weight loss works.
Who would have thought that I would be able to lose over 100 pounds? I thought that there was no way that I could do that without having some kind of invasive surgery or diet pill or some other means.
Let SOTA Weight Loss teach you the healthy, natural way to let go of the weight for good.
The best decision I've made in a long time was just to call SOTA Weight Loss.
Join SOTA Weight Loss with your partner and only pay for one person. Lose weight together.
Double the motivation, double the results, half the cost. Take advantage of SOTA Weight Loss 2-for-1 partner program. Visit SOTAweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. SOTA is, say it with me, state of the art.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit VaxAssist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We have arrived. San Diego FC. Every goal.
It's a little Aaron Goal.
Every save.
Save! CJ Dos Santos says no.
Every minute of San Diego FC MLS soccer action.
It's a beautiful game in Major League Soccer, San Diego FC.
And it all lives on one station. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. San Diego FC back on the pitch tomorrow night, taking on the Seattle Sounders. Snapdragon Stadium tickets available at SanDiegoFC.com. You can hear the match live tomorrow night, starting at 7, right here on San Diego Sports 760. Your home for SDFC. Jon and Jim with you. We've got full post-game reaction. Padres fall for a first time this year, and they do so in Chicago to the Cubs 3-1. We'll have Kevin Acee joining us coming up at 5 p.m. If you missed Mike Shildt, we'll play more of that for you, I'm sure, at some point over the next hour or so. So we were just talking about baseball and this dichotomy that plays out with spending. And then we credited baseball this spring, Jim, because we're like, we like automatic balls and strikes. It's cool.
Love it.
It was quick. It was effective. It was easy. The system made sense. It was easy to understand, and it was easy to apply, and it seemed to be working perfectly. I didn't hear any real complaint about automatic balls and strikes, ABS, that computerized system, during spring training. So what happens? The season starts, and we're back to where we were, complaining about plate umpiring and balls and strikes, even though they just had a system, Jim, that they used for 6 weeks in Florida and Arizona that seemingly was working perfectly.
There was a moment in today's Padres game where Randy Vasquez, early on has an opportunity to get out of this inning, throws literally a perfect pitch on the outside corner. If there was ABS, it would have been called a strike. And instead, the umpire called it a ball. And that inning led to, I want to say, 2 runs scoring. But
was that in the 5th?
I think that was in the 5th. It was in the 5th. And that inning kind of, got away from the Padres. Did you know today, by the way, was the first inherited runner that the Padres bullpen allowed to score this entire season so far?
I didn't know it, but I could have guessed it since they'd allowed what? 1 run?
They allowed 1 run.
7 games? Or was it 2? I think they allowed a second, actually.
Yeah.
Morejon allowed a run.
But inherited runners. Today was the first game this year that the bullpen allowed a inherited runner to score. And it was in that inning that should not have happened because Randy Vasquez threw a perfect cutter on the outside of the plate that just caught the zone. And if ABS was in effect, Martin Maldonado would have turned around, tapped his head, called for ABS. They would have looked at it. There would have been a strike, and he would have been over.
What's the purpose, I guess, for me? You're right. I mean, it's changing games every single day. It's been changing games for years, home plate umpiring, and whether you automate this process or not. I just wonder, why would you implement it for an entire spring to say that we're going to use that data for 2026? So we're going to do it for an entire spring in 2025, and then we're going to implement it in 2026. Why do we need 1 full year when I watched it this spring? And it couldn't have been simpler or easier. Like there was nothing hard to decipher or determine. Why do we do this? Like, again, it's a 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And maybe ultimately in 2026, we'll be singing the praises of Major League Baseball for bringing this to the regular season. But right now, it just seems like you had us this spring and now you've lost us when the games actually count.
And it wasn't just that pitch. It was on both sides of the plate for both teams. There
were a lot of pitches today, actually.
Yeah, a lot of pitches for both teams that just I'm sure that the umpire, whoever it was, his report card tomorrow is not going to look great.
Right.
And it's pretty avoidable. Now, when ABS is, installed in 2026, will it be for every single pitch? No, there will be rules. There will be a certain amount of challenges that teams could have and so forth. So it's not going to be every single pitch is going to be under the microscope of ABS, but important pitches absolutely will be, like that 3-2 pitch to Kyle Tucker by Randy Vasquez that would have got them out of the inning. There was
right. It's not even important pitches. It's whatever pitch they deem to be challengeable.
Yep.
They could, like a catcher and pitcher could miss the biggest pitch of the year if they don't challenge it.
Right.
Or they could be out of challenges, and that's a whole nother conversation. But if there's a pitch that is worth challenging, I guess I'm at a loss for why we're not doing it right now. Now, I see some people in the chat making an interesting point. It's a good one. Maybe the technology to put in all 30 Major League stadiums would take time beyond what they did this spring in the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League, although there's a lot of Cactus League and Grapefruit League stadiums, aren't there? 15 or 20 of those, and they installed them for this spring. So I would think what sports are with technology, Jim, they could have done the necessary work to make that happen. Like, I would think this offseason, they could have taken the time to get that system into the 30 Major League ballparks. That's just my guess, my hunch.
And I saw I saw some tweets today from other games around baseball where it was worse. And you're just like, oh my gosh, baseball sometimes can't get out of their own way. Now, they've done some really nice things. I love the pitch clock, and I love how the game's sped up. That aspect of the game, to me, it was good on Rob Manfred, right? But sometimes it feels like baseball is just too slow to act. They almost react instead of act. And in this case, if you have the technology, why not do it? I mean, I can't imagine a postseason game not if once ABS is installed where we live in a world without it. Because for big pitches that are like, borderline strikes or borderline balls, I want it to be called correctly. And ABS is the solution for that.
Yeah, I mean, we've had so many games. We talked about this maybe this week, Jim, where we're like, there have been so many horrifically officiated moments in sports history because there wasn't replay.
Right.
And now here we are in this replay age, and we're watching these pitches in real time each and every game being called incorrectly so often. I mean, so often. We've obsessed over it for years on end. There's that tweet that we've all seen, like, oh, I can't wait for baseball to come back. I can't wait for baseball to come back. Oh my gosh, these umpires are awful. Yeah. I'm saying it as PC as I can for the radio, but like it's so true. It's like this is an inevitability. These people have eyes. They miss a lot of pitches. It's not as good as technology and computers. It's like tennis. They took the officiating out of it and they just automated everything, and it's been better for tennis. I'm not saying automate everything, and that's what baseball's not saying. They want umpires, but they want, when umpires miss balls or strikes, for batters or pitchers or catchers to have the ability to challenge that. So if that's what they want moving forward, I don't get why we're not doing it right now, but they'll have it in 2026, presumably, but that's not going to save us from a situation like today at Wrigley Field, sadly.
Yeah. It won't, and it won't, save anybody in the postseason this year either, when there will 100% be calls that are awful. Now, in the postseason, they do get the best umps in there based on their, ratings in the regular season. They're not just going to put any schmuck out there to call balls and strikes in the postseason. So I appreciate that, but some of these regular season games are going to be really, really, really important. And it's almost like you sometimes have a luck of a draw with umpires, like, oh, we got a bad one tonight. How many times have players over the years looked at the home plate ump and they're like, all right, well, got to look out for the outside pitch because he's going to call it a strike all night long, And in reality, with the ABS, now that can be kind of semi-rectified. Not all of it, but important pitches at important moments, 100% now with ABS installed next year, and it should be installed this year, it's going to help the game more. It will.
Yeah, I almost respect it more when the umpires are off, but they're calling that same pitch both ways the same. Where it gets really wonky is a day like today where it's not being called the same way both ways. It's like you don't know what's going to be called a ball. You don't know what's going to be called a strike. All right, we can react to that. Text line is open, by the way, 70470. Start your message with the word team. Again, 70470. You can start your message with the word team. More reaction from the Padres' first loss of the season this afternoon at Wrigley Field, 3-1. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us at 5 p.m. Also, in the 4 o'clock hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see both Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan at the North Island Chula Vista Amphitheater on May 15th. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Padres fall, we react. We'll hear from Mike Shildt again. Kevin Acee will join us at 5 p.m. This is Jon and Jim.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business, and that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Immerse yourself in the excitement of the big tournament at Valley View Casino and Hotel, where you can catch all the action on an 18-foot video wall and hundreds of big screen TVs. During the game, experience buzzer-beating dining at Patties and Pints, which features handcrafted burgers, deep dish pizzas, creamy shakes, locally brewed draft beer, and a variety of specialty cocktails. Every game is a win at San Diego's favorite casino. Get in on all the action at Valley View Casino and Hotel.
Acai Bowl lovers, April 6th is National Acai Bowl Day. At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Tropic Rewards members can celebrate with $5 off an acai bowl or acai bowl with Nutella. Not a member yet? Join the party by downloading the app and signing up today. Log into your account on April 6th to redeem your offer for $5 off an acai bowl or acai bowl with Nutella. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Terms and conditions apply.
On a first date, feeling real stressed. Got secret in my pits, he's impressed. Leaning close for that first kiss. He smells like stress, I smell like bliss. Secret clinical, stay fresher under pressure.
Secret antiperspirant, come on.
Secret every day, keeps that sweat away. Secret every day, keeps that smell away. Secret every day, keeps that sweat away. Secret every day, keeps that smell away. Secret clinical, stay fresher under pressure.
Have you ever wondered if your pet is lying to you?
Why is my cat not here? And I go in and she's eating my lunch.
Or if hypnotism is real?
You will use the suggestion to enhance your control.
But what's inside a black hole?
Black holes could be a consequence of the way we understand the universe.
Well, we have answers for you in the new podcast, Science Stuff. Join me, Jorge Cham, as we answer questions about animals, space, our brains, and our bodies. Listen to Science Stuff on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Science Stuff, and listen now.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings, the official partner of the NBA.
The Padres lost their first game of the season. Their 7-game winning streak ended with a 3-1 loss to the Cubs in Chicago. The Chargers agree on a 1-year deal worth up to $6.2 million with former Cowboys and Niners quarterback Trey Lance. The Clippers home tonight to face the Mavericks. By Monday night, we'll have 2 champions as it's Final Four weekend for college basketball. The women in Tampa, the men in San Antonio. I'm Frank Garrity.
That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From the leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of a Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. Offers are waiting.
KGB and KGB-FM HD2 San Diego. #1 on your car radio preset. And on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. We never sounded so good.
This update's brought to you by the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Padres suffer their first loss of the year, falling to the Cubs 3-1 this afternoon. Game 2 of their 3-game series will be tomorrow morning. Nick Pivetta will be on the mound for the Padres. Moving over to SDFC, they take on Seattle tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium. 7:30 kickoff. 7 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts. You can listen to that right here on San Diego Sports 760. Step into springtime at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. March 29th to April 20th, celebrate this season of transformation with a stroll through Butterfly Jungle. Discover a kaleidoscope of beauty with the butterflies of every size, shape, and color. Learn more about this vibrant world at sdssafaripark.org.
Previously on Jon and Jim.
I think he's changed a lot. Juan Soto. And maybe that happens with Merrill. We haven't yet seen the career arc.
I really hope not. I hope
not
that
too.
Merrill is this exact same. And he'll just get more mature too.
Yep.
But I just hope that has the exact same attitude with everything for his career.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Still to come, your chance to win those tickets to see Willie Nelson at Bob Dylan, May 15th in San Diego. And Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us at 5 p.m. The Padres, as we've been reacting to, dropped their first game of the year 3-1. I thought they would find a way in that ninth inning, as we discussed briefly earlier. Xander Bogaerts' walk, a Jackson Merrill single. You had 2 on in a 2-run game, and then they moved the runners into scoring position for Jay Cronenworth, who then was called out on strikes to end the game. So it was setting up there, and they really made the closer Presley work. Well over 30 pitches in the ninth inning, and they put runners at second and third with 2 outs for Jay Cronenworth, who does not come through there in the clutch. The Padres lose a game. It was inevitable. They were going to lose a game. It happened to be today. We're hoping to put it off as long as possible. I thought heading into today, Jim, they'd find a way to win this game based on how they had been playing. But the other shoe drops. They lose their first game. Such is life, and we'll see how they rebound moving forward.
Yeah, Nick Pivetta on the mound tomorrow. I don't know the weather, but it's going to be cold there again. It looked chilly there. Everyone is wearing gloves and scarves and beanies and big jackets. Don and Mud with the giant gloves on the broadcast. You have the weather there tomorrow, Brent? What's the weather there tomorrow?
A whopping high of 49.
Oh, nice. I'm sure it'll feel like 29 there with the wind at Wrigley. I'm dead. It was inevitable. It almost, and Shildt said it, feels like the season now officially has started. You know, it's like when you obviously I've never boxed before, but you hear boxers say, like, once you feel that first punch, like, okay, now I'm ready. You know, it's like almost you want to like feel kind of some pain, and then you feel like you're really in it now. And we knew the Padres were not going to go 162-0. And there's going to be adversity this season. How do they deal with adversity? This is not even close to that. It's just one loss on their record. But yeah, going into the 6-game road trip, you want them to still continue to play well, even if they do have a 3-3 road trip. Like we said the other day, you come home next Friday against Colorado and you're 10-3. So I mean, still that's really good. And because of the 7-0 start, they've built this cushion where they could have a 3-3 road trip, and still their record will be really, really good.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, we had Alex Cohen on yesterday, who is a TV broadcaster for the Cubs, and he made the point of, the Cubs bullpen's really struggled. But you know how to negate that? Have your starter go into the 8th inning, which is what they did today in Shota Imanaga, who went 7 1/3 innings. And you're right, this isn't adversity. Like, even I'm watching this game play out, and it wasn't your first week Padres. Like, Manny commits an error that leads to a run, and you get the ground ball, which you're looking for with Yuki on the mound in a 1-1 game, but Bogaerts can't complete the force out at second base. Not because of Bogaerts, but just because it's baseball. And they were able to leg that out there at second base. But Cubs pitching has not been great this year. Their offense has really carried them through the first 10 games of the season. We'll see if the Padres can get to that bullpen later in this series. I think the storyline to follow this weekend is what you referenced an hour ago, which is if you lose your closer and you're Chicago and your bullpen has struggled, and the reason they would lose their closer is because he threw over 30 pitches, so he's probably down tomorrow. What impact does that have? Because this might be a true loss to win the next 2 days, like lose a battle, win a war, because they made the closer work. So maybe they'll have another opportunity against this bullpen tomorrow and do more damage than they did today.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see Nick Pivetta in his second start of the year. I'm still excited to see how this team is on the road. Obviously, it didn't go their way today, only putting up 1 run on the board there, but the win was a big factor. Shota Imanaga was a big factor. Xander should have had at least 1 home run today. They fought back in the 9th inning. I love the team's fight, led by Jackson Merrill in the 9th. Of course, he's going to come through there. Like, it's just, this kid, it just refuses to die. He just will not give up at all. Even if they're down 10 runs, he is not giving up. He hates losing more than he loves winning, I feel like. So Jackson,
put it on a shirt. I like that.
Yeah, that's been said before, John. It's not like it's a new saying. I didn't like create that right now. I stole it. Like I
You typically don't create anything.
No,
so
I really
didn't think
don't.
you created
No,
it.
I'm Mr. Steal Everything over here, right? Isn't that right?
Correct.
So all in all, it's fine. 7-1 on the year. You move on. Got out of the game clean. Just got to clean up the walks for Randy Vasquez and just move on.
Yeah, the truth is, I mean, they don't have to do anything. They lost a game, and they move on. The one thing that has been really encouraging to start the year is just Jackson in general signs the contract, homers the day before, homers the day after, comes through with 2 hits today, including in the 9th inning. And then Fernando Tatis Jr., this leadoff revelation that we saw play out for years on end before this year, but they've just decided that they're going to plug him in. And yes, Luis Arraez has struggled out of the gates. Is it a concern? No, I don't think it is, but he has struggled out of the gates. But one player that hasn't is Tatis, who had 2 more hits today. He's gotten off to an amazing start with an OPS over 1,000 for the Padres. So the Tatis and Merrill part of the equation has been really fun to watch. I'm not worried about the Arraez part of this, truthfully. But, I mean, the Merrill, you can't say enough good things. You cannot say enough good things about Jackson Merrill, win, lose, or draw. And I can't be more encouraged by what Fernando Tatis Jr. has shown us in the first week of the season. I really can't. I'm just crossing my fingers for his health because I know that if they bat him there all year long, this could be the year of his career in 2025 for the Padres.
It hurts the lineup as far as, lengthening it out, and it would be too top heavy. But imagine if they pulled the trigger and had Fernando lead off, followed by Jackson Merrill in the 2-hole. Now I don't know where you put Luis Arraez. Do you put him, where do you put Luis Arraez?
You'd have to really drop him because I'm not going to bat him 3rd, and you're not going to bat him 4th, and you're not going to bat him 5th. Right?
But I
wouldn't think.
Imagine a top of a lineup of Tatis, Merrill, and Manny. Right.
Sounds good.
That's really good. Now, the middle of your lineup and the bottom half of your lineup takes a huge dip. But I would want Jackson to get as many at bats as possible. And if Tatis is going to play like this and Jackson's going to play like this, I mean, imagine that 1-2 punch, the top of your lineup.
And to your point, Arraez drives and runs. We've said that his whole career. He's hit 360 with men in scoring position. So maybe there is room for him in the middle lineup. It's not prototypical because he's not going to hit for power.
It only would work.
One day probably is slated to be a 2-hole hitter, right? A 2 or 3-hole hitter in the big leagues.
I feel like it would only work if Xander actually had some legit pop, or at least had his Boston pop, because he doesn't have that. So then you can have Xander be your cleanup guy, but I'm still gonna need Xander from a full year standpoint to show us that he can, in the middle of that lineup, drive in runs, because he has not been able to do that for the first 2 years plus here in a Padres uniform. He hit 5th and 6th most of last year, and he drove in like 50 runs. You're like, what? So it would work, I feel like, if Xander, was better at the plate for this team, because then you can have a top 4 of Tatis, Merrill, Manny, and Bogarts. But again, then where do you put Arraez? You're not putting Arraez 9th. You're not putting Arraez 6th. So it's just a little wonky. And Merrill said before, I don't care where I hit. Literally bat me anywhere. And that's what makes the kid special and great, because there are people, and maybe there's some in this lineup already, that complain about where they hit. Jackson doesn't care. He doesn't care at all.
I think Arraez cares. I think Arraez cares where he hits, and I think Arraez cares where he plays. He said this spring's the second base. I'll play him at second. He spent every game leading off in 2024. They're not leading him off this year. Now, I don't think I don't know if he's saying it publicly. Mike Shildt made the really interesting point within the last week, like a team has to make sacrifices to win as a team. Individual pieces have to make those sacrifices to win as a team. I think Luis Arraez is fully content to play for a winning team and bat anywhere in this lineup, but the truth, he was comfortable as a leadoff hitter because he's hit there a lot in his career and he's come through. I don't think he is struggling because he's hitting second. I think he's struggling. Like, I don't think he'd be hitting 400 if he was leading off. I just think he's had a slow start. That doesn't overly concern me because his track record is so secure, but he hasn't hit to start the year. So the good news is it's Luis Arraez. Like, if this was, I don't know, Xander Bogaerts, who's hitting 100 out of the gates, and not like he's hitting 300, he's hitting 200 out of the gates. But if it was Xander hitting 100 out of the gates, I'd be more concerned than Luis Arraez hitting 100 out of the gates based on his track record.
Yeah, because I would bet a lot that at some point this year, Luis Arraez will get hot and he will have a stretch where he's hitting like 410. I think that's just inevitable. Now, could we look up and at midway point of the season and he's not anywhere close to his average of 320 and he is more close to like 280 or 275? Like, yeah, I could see that, but I do believe that there will be moments in the season where he is hot. I just trust him. Of course. Why would you doubt him? Guy that's a lifetime career 320 hitter. Why are you all of a sudden now going to doubt that he's going to get hot and have a stretch of him, hitting around 350 or 360 or whatever the case may be? What has he shown you over his career? Higher. Yeah, or even higher. What has he shown you over his career to doubt him? Right?
Yeah, nothing. You're right. And the truth is, over 162, this is always my positioning with the he shut those people up. Every player over 162 that's a regular gets hot. There's not one player. Martin Maldonado might hit 130 for a season, but he might hit 300 over a 7.
Bro, he is hot right now. He is hot for his standards.
That's what I'm saying. So Martin Maldonado is hot. We spent the spring saying this guy shouldn't be in the big leagues. And this bench isn't good enough. And then Gavin Sheets comes out and tears the cover off the baseball. Over 162, every single player can prove you wrong. Like, there's a lot of opinions that don't look great over the course of the entire season because it's just hard to forecast the ebbs and flows of an entire season. Like, if we came on the air right now and said, I think Arraez is going to hit sub 200 based on what I've seen, I mean, you'd be a moron. Yeah. Like, you're not going to forecast that, obviously. Now, but the truth is also, on the other side of that coin is I can't guarantee he's going to hit 320.
No, yeah, you're right about that. Also, we can't come on the air and say things like, well, we'll give our opinions on this team after the season. Right. Just to save ourselves from looking like idiots, because a lot of times we might have opinions that are wrong and sometimes we have opinions that are right, but that's just our job. Like, we are going to be right and we are going to be wrong. And there's a lot of times when people are like, let things play out. I'm sorry, but we can't. I sometimes I wish we could, but we literally can't just let things play out. We have to react to every game and damn near every pitch in real time with our opinions on what's going on in front of us. And we can't just sit back and be like, you know what? I'll give you my opinion on this series that they're playing with the Cubs on Monday. Yeah.
Although today would be the one day that we're not really fully reacting to what played out today because they're 7-1 overall.
True,
so there's no real reason to dive too deep here in their first loss of the season. If you missed Mike Shildt earlier, you'll hear that coming up. Kevin Acee will join us at 5 p.m. Plus, we'll preview tomorrow's Final Four in San Antonio with 4-1 seeds looking to move on to a national championship game on Monday night that you can hear as well here on San Diego Sports 760. This is Jon and Jim.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by RCP Block and Brick.
Quite busy now on West 8 near Mollison. Here's a crash in the slow lane. South 805 slowing Mira Mesa Boulevard to Governor. Then from the 163 toward the 15. Slow down the coastline. A lot of traffic here in Camp Pendleton. South 5 stop and go. Las Pulgas to the 78. More slowing into Del Mar. I'm Mark Zegan.
RCP Block and Brick is your #1 source for hardscape and masonry supplies. Their expert team helps contractors and DIYers get the job done right with the largest selection of professional-grade products in town. Family-owned, trusted since 1947. Start your project today with RCP Block and Brick.
Catch all the big tournament action and cheer on your favorite team at OG's. They've got something that'll satisfy all your taste buds.
Hey, my name is Nee Addy, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Philo, the TV streaming service that puts its audience first. What does that mean? It means no hidden fees and no long contracts. It means 24/7 customer support with real people. And it means the easiest and most affordable way to watch the stuff you love to watch. Live TV from networks like A&E, BET, Nickelodeon, and Discovery. all the groundbreaking blockbusters from AMC Plus. A huge library of movies and shows on demand that you can stream now or save to rewatch for up to a year and fast forward through commercials. We even have more than 100 channels that are always free, even if you pause or cancel your subscription. And the best part, TV shouldn't break the bank. So all of this is just $28 a month when you sign up at philo.tv. Check us out risk-free. That's philo.tv.
Hey everyone in San Diego, this is Chris Hodge, the longtime host of Sports Investors Daily, sponsored by TakingVegas.com. We will be on every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. local for the next 35 Saturdays, breaking down sports wagering as a business. The number remains the same, 888-9-WIN-NOW, 888-994-6669. Also, text the word WIN to the number 545454 for daily free picks. And be sure to listen to me with Jon and Jim every Thursday afternoon at 4:30 local.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Learn more at hamulcasino.com.
Hey, this is Rich from Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, and I know firsthand the crippling pain associated with lower body joint pain. I've torn knee ligaments. I had a back surgery that ended my NFL journey. Every day felt like a battle. Simple pleasures like just playing with the kids or walking down to the bay in Pacific Beach were overshadowed by constant searing pain. I spent years chasing remedies that simply didn't cut it, and then I discovered the Good Feet store. For over 6 years now, I wear their custom fit arch supports, and they've helped me experience a life with less pain. Imagine that. Now I'm able to work, play, and just simply be there for my family without pain. And with locations in San Marcos, Carmel Mountain, and Mission Valley, their help is never far away from you. Come in and try before you buy at the Good Feet store and embrace the comfort, energy, and performance that your life deserves. Pain relief could be on the horizon for you at the Good Feet store.
SDFC.
Into the cauldron for the header. Goal! Chris McKay. Goal!
Lives here. Tomorrow night, our home team is back at Snapdragon Stadium. Can you feel it? It's San Diego FC versus Seattle Sounders FC. The SDFC kickoff show gets started at 7 with a 7:30 game time. We are the exclusive home of our home team, San Diego FC. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
All right, San Diego Sports 760, your home for March Madness. Catch all the action from the playing games to tomorrow's Final Four, with Final Four coverage beginning tomorrow at noon on your home for March Madness, San Diego Sports 760. You can hear the national championship game on Monday, 4 p.m. pregame coverage, which means a short Jon and Jim on Monday, 2 to 4, reacting to the weekend at Wrigley Field. So let's just touch on that for a moment. Final Four, Jim, tomorrow in San Antonio, 4 1 seeds. How confident are we in the favorites tomorrow? Duke, obviously a pretty sizable favorite against Houston. And then Florida favored over Auburn in an SEC matchup as well tomorrow in San Antonio. How are you feeling about these games?
Well, they're all the 1 seeds, so wouldn't you expect these to be all good games? Like I don't expect.
I expect them to be good. Yeah, I mean I expect them, but we don't know, right?
We don't know. The Duke line is interesting. They're favored by 5.5 over Houston.
It's a big number.
Houston's lost like what, 2 times or 1 time since the San Diego State game?
Once in San Diego State.
So if Duke blows out or wins by like double digits over Houston, then you kind of feel, yeah, Duke's winning the whole thing because Houston's a really good team. And if Duke kind of lays it on them tomorrow, you're probably sitting there if you're Florida or Auburn going, what? And same thing with Florida and Auburn. You know, Florida or Auburn have big wins over one another. Like, you know, you could be looking at the same situation if you're Duke or Houston. Of the 4 teams, Jon, would you say that Houston, if Houston makes the national championship, you'd be the most surprised there?
Yeah, I think that's accurate because I think Duke is going to win it all.
I hope not.
So I think Duke is the best of these four teams. So that's why I would say Houston has maybe the biggest hill to climb because they're playing the best team in the Final Four, in my opinion. We'll see if that's accurate or not. I mean, the one thing about Houston, to your point, is they never lose, and their defense has been impeccable, like as good as anyone. So can you slow down Duke? I don't know the answer to that. No one seemingly slows down Duke. Their offense has been incredibly efficient. Will they be slowed down in a dome in Texas, just a couple of hours from Houston? Like, is that an advantage for the Cougars playing in Texas in a dome where it's hard to shoot? Now, it's not a true dome. The Alamo Dome, like some of these huge NFL buildings are, like when the Aztecs were in Houston 2 years ago. That's my one hope for Houston, that Duke doesn't shoot it well and Houston's defense is that good that it gives them a chance to win the game. I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in Houston because I just think Duke is that good.
Yeah, Duke is really, really good. I mean, Cooper Flagg is the clear-cut number one pick next year in the draft. If he declares, I think he will, right? I mean, when you are like the clear-cut, head over shoulders favorite to be the number one pick in the draft next year, like, you're declaring, right?
I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't, unless there's more money in college today than there is in the NBA. I mean, the money's that crazy. Maybe he could make the same amount at Duke, but I don't see how he comes back when he's got a 20-year career on the other side in the NBA where he could make hundreds of millions of dollars.
And don't you have to declare before you know who the number one pick will, like, the number one pick for the team will be? Or do you not, or could you like wait?
I don't know the answer to that. You're saying before, like, the lottery ball process plays out during the postseason?
Right. Well, I guess
I don't know.
I don't know because it's.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Does
he? I mean, is he in a situation like, are you like, hey, I'm not going to go play for? Is that what the talk is? Like, I don't want to play for the Wizards.
I think it's more a external talk than anything to do with Cooper Flagg. I think the external talk is this kid could be really, really good in the NBA. It'd be wise if he went to like a franchise that's not the Washington Wizards or the Charlotte Hornets, like going to a better brand, like maybe Chicago, or I heard the talk of if he went to San Antonio with Wemby. Could you imagine that? Him, Wemby, and De'Aaron Fox, like what?
I found the deadline to declare for the draft this year is April 26th at midnight, but the draft lottery is May 12th. So he won't know who's got the picks.
Got it.
That makes sense. But he'll never really know. Like, to your point, maybe he's better off, Jim, with a different brand than some of these teams that are the worst teams in basketball. But even if you went back to college for a year, you can't guarantee that you're not going to end up with those exact same teams, right? Nobody knows how the lottery ball process plays out, and nobody knows who's going to suck next year.
Well, yeah, exactly. The worst team in the NBA is definitely not guaranteed to get the number one pick. Like right now, it is who's the Wizards? I want to say the Wizards are the worst team in the NBA. They're not guaranteed. They could easily have like the fifth pick in the draft next year. And that's the beauty of the lottery, is that you can't say you're tanking, or you can't go out there and actually physically tank because of the percentage chances. That's why in the NFL it's a little different. I don't know if they should change that, but anyway, different story. Yeah, we don't know who the number one pick is, and he won't know the number one pick, but I think he's going to declare.
I think he will declare, and the question is, will he be a national champion when he does declare? I mean, this is a real path. I mean, if you're Duke and you got to go beat Houston and you have to go beat Florida or Auburn, that is no easy task. I mean, that's going to be a very impressive accomplishment. Whoever gets out of this thing standing Monday night, that's, what a feat to beat back-to-back one seeds. The winner of this is beating back-to-back one seeds on Saturday and Monday. So I could make a case for all of them. I thought Auburn this year might have had the best year. I think Florida has been elite with their offense. I think Houston's defense is the best. I think Duke's just the best overall team. So I'm excited to be watching, truthfully, and listening right here on San Diego Sports 76.
What matchup do you want to see? You want to see Duke Florida or Duke Auburn?
I don't know, man. What would you? I don't know. I personally would want to see Auburn in it because of Chad Baker Mazara and the San Diego State connection. I'd like to see Auburn in the national championship. whether it's against Duke or Houston. What do you think is the most compelling national matchup?
I think the most compelling, probably Duke Auburn. I think that would be the most compelling because of the coaches. Bruce Pearl, I think, is he's a very vibrant coach, and he will say what's on his mind. I think that bodes well for, hey, you got a coach over here that everyone knows. John Shire for Duke, this is kind of like his first real time, coaching here as far as in the Final Four and whatnot. But I think Duke Auburn would be the most compelling. I want Florida versus, I don't care. I got Florida, Houston, Florida, Duke is fine as long as Florida's in it, because I have Florida, and if Florida wins, then that's good for me in my bracket. Yeah, I'm Mr. Bracket guy.
They have not this year as much as
yeah, you sound like you're on Mars. It's okay. So John's going to reconnect. Coming up next, we will get into more of this Padres and Cubs game. We'll hear from Mike Shildt later on the show. Also, the Rap and Kevin Acee joins us at 5 p.m. Stay with us right here on Jon and Jim.
Oh no, my water bill is double last month's.
Experiencing an unusual rise in your water bill? You may have an underground leak. CPL Detection has been helping homeowners and businesses locate underground utilities and water leaks for more than 40 years. They have the expertise and high-tech equipment to handle any job. CPL Detection will locate your underground utilities or water leaks the first time. Before you dig, call CPL. They'll help you avoid costly or dangerous mistakes. Call 1-800-450-LEAK or visit CPLdetection.com.
Immerse yourself in the excitement of the big tournament at Valley View Casino and Hotel, where you can catch all the action on an 18-foot video wall and hundreds of big screen TVs. During the game, experience buzzer-beating dining at Patties and Pints, which features handcrafted burgers, deep dish pizzas, creamy shakes, locally brewed draft beer, and a variety of specialty cocktails. Every game is a win at San Diego's favorite casino. Get in on all the action at Valley View Casino and Hotel.
I am dedicated. I am TNT.
With Team in Training, you will reach your best physical self so blood cancer patients can reach theirs. Change your life by joining a marathon, half marathon, triathlon, or a cycle event, and you'll change the lives of blood cancer patients.
I am committed. I am TNT.
After 600,000 participants and almost $1 billion raised for treatments, TNT has helped the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society make a significant impact in the advancement of blood cancer therapies that save lives every day.
I am making a difference. I am TNT.
Join TNT. Expand your circle of friends to be part of a very special community. Train with world-class trainers and have the chance to be part of the most exciting endurance sports events in the country. Or train on your own schedule with TNT Flex. Join TNT and fundraise while you train, and take part in getting us all closer to a world without blood cancers.
Join TNT now. Go to teamintraining.org.
Ready for the final games of the college basketball tournament? What if you could do more than watch? What if you could make money on the outcome? Now you can with Kalshi, the first platform legally available in all 50 states where you can trade on real-world events. Sports, Bitcoin prices, upcoming elections, even the Oscars. Kalshi helps turn predictions into profit. Use code RADIO or sign up and get $10 when you trade 100. That's Kalshi, Kalshi.com. Or download the Kalshi app and start trading anytime, anywhere.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
Ow! Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
San Diego sports now.
All right, this update is brought to you by the Jim Petrell Real Estate Team. Padres suffer their first loss of the year, losing the Cubs 3-1 at Wrigley Field. Game 2 of their 3-game series tomorrow morning. Same time, first pitch, 11:20 a.m. Nick Pivetta will be on the mound for the Padres. Tomorrow, the Final Four gets underway. First up, it will be Auburn against Florida. Tip time at 3 p.m., followed by Houston and Duke at 5:40 p.m. You can hear both those games right here on San Diego Sports 760. And then the nightcap, San Diego FC takes on Seattle Sounders. 7:30 is kickoff there, with 7 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on the station. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Petrell as the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us from Chicago at 5 p.m. If you missed Mike Shildt, we'll play that for you coming up in a few moments. Plus some thoughts on San Diego FC later this hour, getting back against Seattle this weekend, looking to continue their good play to begin their inaugural campaign. Again, the Padres fall today in Chicago 3-1. They'll play Game 2 of that series tomorrow at 11:20 a.m. Pacific. Game 2 of a 6-game road trip that also continues through Sacramento, of all places. Sacramento, that'll take a little bit to get used to, Jim, and then by the time we're used to it, they'll be, who the hell knows where they'll be? Maybe Las Vegas, who even knows? But the Sacramento experience is underway in Major League Baseball for the next who knows how many years, at least a few.
I feel, too, that, say the Padres do have a down series against the Cubs here offensively, it would be nice, after a down series offensively, to go to a place that is, I guess, an absolute bandbox.
Right.
I'm very curious to see, because, Alex Cohen was on yesterday, and the Cubs were just at Sacramento, and they put up a literal laser show against the A's. And I feel like if, the Padres maybe have a down series here against the Cubs offensively, they only scored 1 run today, but I think most of that had to do with Shota and Imanaga. Nice to go to a place where maybe this year it's going to be really good for teams that want to pad their stats.
I want to say the Cubs scored 35 runs in 3 games.
Is that good?
Which is a lot of runs. They, let's see. Yeah, they scored some ridiculous number of runs against the A's. Let's see. Yeah, they 10 in one game, 7 in another. They scored 18 in the A's home opener. So you're right. You're right. Hopefully that's an advantage for the. I don't know how they're going to do it in Sacramento, Jim, over the summer. I don't know how they'll do it in Tampa over the summer.
Dude, I don't know.
It's hot. I don't know if you realize that it's hot in Sacramento.
Oh, I realize that.
I assume they have to play in Sacramento over the summer. It's hot as hell in Tampa. They're going to have to play there over the summer outside. So I don't know what Major League Baseball's gotten themselves into with this, truthfully. 2 of your 30 teams are playing in minor league stadiums for years on end. That does not seem like a good formula.
Well, I do know that every game for the A's in the summertime at home in Sacramento is at night. There's no day games. At least I think that's I think that's correct.
Right.
Because as you said, it is 100+ degrees, and why
even at night it's gonna be hot.
I know, but at least it's not in the sun. I mean, I could deal with the heat at night, and that's just as long as I'm not out there with the sun, glaring on me, standing in center field. So,
no, you're right. You're right. I'm looking at the schedule right now. I mean, most of their games will be played at night, but there'll be a few of those games that they play this year that will be scorching hot.
Oh, for sure.
In Sacramento, there's no way to get around it because it's 100+ degrees.
And then the ball will for sure be flying. If it's not flying now, oh my God. It's just wait.
No doubt. But again, 35 runs for the Cubs in 3 games. We'll see if the same holds true for the Padres coming up next weekend. Let's hear from Mike Shildt. If you missed it earlier, he caught up with the media following the first Padres loss of the season. He started by talking about the Cubs starter, Shota Imanaga.
Yeah, Imanaga was good. Pitches through strikes. Didn't hurt himself. Made quality pitches when he had to. Thought the swings were good. Maldy got him. Had a good approach. Toddy with some good swings. Jackson, but he did a nice job.
Randy just struggled out of the stretch. A couple singles I had through a hole. What did you think of him overall?
Gave up 2 hits. Stuff's good. Kept him off balance. Just not enough. The free passes. 3 in the first and 2 outs, nobody on in the 5th, and only ball gets in the outfield in that inning and scores 2 runs. The found grass was his little base hit to left, and then a couple walks, and I thought Yuki did a real nice job. Give Tucker some credit on the hustle play to beat the force. Yuki comes in, does his job, Randy was good. Just he walks.
Touched on it, but I imagine you can't ask for much more out of Yuki in that spot the way that inning went, just given kind of some of the bounces.
Yeah,
there.
we know they're going to go to Turner there. We like Yuki on lefties and righties, and you got to made good pitches. Bogey made nice play. It was just good baseball play all the way around. Then you got the other ground ball, so Yuki did his part. Bullpen was good. Jacob did it. Wandy did it. Kept it right there for us to get the go ahead around the plate in the 9th.
What went into the Diaz for Maldonado decision in the 8th?
To make sure we had the lefties ready for the 9th. Because we hit a lefty there, and then we got the righty coming in for Perez. There's 1 out, nobody's on, so Diaz is capable. Does that answer your question?
Okay. What do you make of what Maldonado has provided on both sides of the ball so far?
I think it's been good. He ambushed him for the homer and did a great job on the plate. Caught a couple of shutouts. He's been fantastic.
Obviously, no one's going to go 162-0. What's the message to the team after a great start this season you had, and just today, bouncing back from today?
Enjoy a good meal and be ready to go tomorrow. There's no message really. Just come ready to compete tomorrow.
What can you say about 7-0? Obviously historic. Guys have been playing really well. Sounds like you like the approach, everything today. What can you say about this start?
Yeah, it's a good start. Listen, we said it during the off season. Camp 44 is a good opportunity for us to connect the dots with everybody. Said it before spring training that we'd won our off season, and then guys come into spring training, ready to go physically, mentally. There's a coercion with the staff. Everybody's on the same page. What we're looking to accomplish individually, collectively in spring training. Then went out, had a full spring training, first time in a number of years. Took advantage of it. The guys really were completely in what we were looking to accomplish. They were ready to go individually as a group. We're ready, on point, and ready to start the season.
All right, that was Mike Shildt this afternoon. I like his temperament today. It's a game. We lost it. We've played well. There's nothing really to say. Like when Dennis Lynn said, "What's your message?" He's like, "Have food tonight." There's no message. We're 7-1. Enjoy your evening.
Do you think Jackson Merrill's going to call a team meeting after this game?
I think he should have called it in the game.
Like a huddle in the dugout?
It was 3-1.
Like what Manny did last year in the postseason against the Dodgers, huddling up game 8. Come here, guys. Come here, boys. It's unacceptable.
Right. This isn't – today's not the hot take day where I'm like, hey, maybe a little less Jason Hayward baseball clinic and a little more there's nothing to say. I thought Kevin said it well, or Dennis. I think Dennis prefaced it. Nobody's going 162-0. No one's going close to it. No one's not losing 40-something games this year, and even that is historic if you lose 45 or 50 games. So whatever would be my message to the team, and there's nothing to say other than thankfully they banked the 7 wins. If they were Atlanta and they lost today, I'd be freaking out. If they were 0-8 today, I'd be freaking out, but they're not.
Do you think Jackson just sat at his locker for a while after the game today, just like reminiscing on what could have been and upset that they didn't?
You think he's still –
Do you think he's still in his
still
uniform?
in the dugout?
He's still in the clubhouse at Wrigley right now. He's still just like, I want to play right now. Let's play another 9. We have to win. And not only do we have to win, we have to win a certain way. We have to dominate you. And if we don't dominate you, then I'm not happy.
He's just going to sit there in the rain. Like
He's like, screw this.
The car probably went on the field overnight.
Yeah.
Just going to sit there.
He's like, I just want to feel what it feels like to be in this dugout all the time.
They're fortunate to have someone like Jackson Merrill that truly is in it for that to win. Again, is he really obsessing over this random April loss in Chicago? Hopefully not.
Yes, he is.
But it is nice he probably is. It's nice to have someone like him that really does believe that what he's here to do is win, not win Rookie of the Years, not win awards, but to win as a team. And, in his short tenure, they have won as a team. And hopefully that continues here in 2025.
Yeah, it's an attitude that at first when you hear it from him, you're like, okay, we get it.
Right.
But then you continue to hear from him the same message over and over and over again. And he backs it up with his play, which is the greatest part of it all. You can say these things, but if you are not going out there and performing, your words mean nothing. But when Jackson in the ninth inning there against a really good closer, he's battling and he gets a ball that he can handle and he hits it to, the left center field gap there almost. Like, yeah, he can say things like, not only do I want to win, I want to rip their hearts out, because he goes out there and he backs it up. And his play this year has been phenomenal.
What were they, 93 and 69? Was that the final record a year ago? Is the math right on that? I think it is.
Yeah, they won 93 games.
Yeah, 90 and 7-1. They're 170 since Jackson Merrill debuted. And by Padres standards and by baseball standards,
what?
That's pretty damn good.
Wait, what?
They're 170.
Oh, I thought you said they're 170. Okay.
Debuted.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
They're 170 since Jackson Merrill debuted.
I guess, yeah.
In the regular season. Let's switch gears to SDFC, back in action tomorrow night. A match you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. Can they keep the momentum going against Seattle? We'll share that with you on the other side. The wrap is coming up, and Kevin Acee will join us at 5 p.m. right here on Jon and Jim.
Dixie Line Lumber and Home Centers, helping San Diegans fix it, build it, and enjoy it for over 100 years. San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
It's a little bit slow through the merge all the way up to a crash just after Loma Santa Fe. They're just exchanging some information. Little sluggish up toward the 78, and the southbound side heavy, Las Pulgas down to the 78. I'm Laura Kane with a check on your San Diego freeways.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
A single can of soda can have up to 10 teaspoons of added sugar. Visit uncoverhealthyhabits.com for more.
We can make your bathroom shine, right on price, right on time. Miramar Kitchen and Bath.
Hi, I'm Nicole Donnelly, and for 34 years, I've owned and managed Miramar Kitchen and Bath alongside my husband, Martin.
We treat every project like it's our own home, and we'll be with you every step of the way.
When you choose Miramar Kitchen and Bath for your kitchen or bathroom remodel, you're working directly with a husband and wife team who care about every detail. Because this isn't just business for us, it's personal.
At Miramar Kitchen and Bath, we believe your experience matters. That's why our experience matters.
Simply call Miramar Kitchen and Bath today at 858-271-8434 to set up a consultation. Or visit our website at miramarkitchenandbath.com.
Our grandson Miles has a message for you.
Call my family today. Miramar Kitchen and Bath.
Contractor's license 657333.
Hey, it's Fletch, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. 10 million members, billions of dollars awarded and winning so far. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app, super easy to use to create a lineup. You just pick more or less on a few player stats for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money this baseball season. Springtime is here. Baseball season officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Download the app today. Use promo code FLETCH, FLETCH, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code FLETCH on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game all around the bases all season long on Prize Picks.
When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts and emotions, it's okay to get help. You are not alone. Cal Hope is here for you with free, safe, and confidential mental health resources for youth, young adults, families, and you. Find support now at calhope.org.
For more information about contests on this station, go to sportssd.com/rules.
News trending now on AM 600 Kogo.
I'm Cliff Albert in the Kogo News Center. Don't look at your 401k. The market plunged again today. TikTok gets an extension and won't have to shut down this weekend after all. And gas prices in San Diego keep rising. Could hit $5 a gallon by early next week.
These stories and more on San Diego's News Radio 600 Kogo and Kogo.com. Brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union.
SDCCU is honoring teachers in San Diego through SDCCU's Classroom Heroes program. Nominate a teacher and they can win a $500 Visa gift card and be featured on CBS 8. One winner will receive a 5-day staycation at Kona Kai Resort. Visit sdccu.com/classroomheroes.
Get in the herd. Since Coach K took over Duke and John Shire, they've had 90 guys in the NBA. I think Cooper Flagg's going to be their best NBA player ever. Cooper Flagg is entering the league at 18. He was 17 when the season started.
Get in the herd.
IQ, shooting, passing. He's an excellent defender. He's got to become a better ball handler in the pros, no question. But the kid is just fantastic.
Weekday mornings at 9. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station. Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile. Go to Cox.com.
All right, San Diego FC back tomorrow night, taking on the Seattle Sounders at Snapdragon Stadium. Tickets available at sandiegofc.com. You can hear the match live tomorrow night, beginning at 7, right here on your home for San Diego FC. San Diego Sports 760. We can get into that match coming up, but you just sent me a tweet that you'd like to react to. So what did you see? Listen, the internet's got a lot of tweets, including the one you just sent me. So why don't you share it with our listeners?
I saw this last night, and it's from, I don't even know who this is, but again, it doesn't matter. It's the tweet that I wanted to talk about. He works for like a betting website. This person says, when I watch Paul Skeens pitch, all I can think about, and I will think about for the rest of his career, is how people tried to make the argument that Jackson Merrill should have won National League Rookie of the Year over him. Hilarious. This guy is generational. Currently has 201,000 views.
I mean, I don't think it's that hot of a take, other than I don't think you need to disparage Merrill to make your point. You could just say, when I watch Skeens pitch, he's generational. So I don't think that the tweet should have anything to do with Merrill. By the way, Merrill doesn't, his season speaks for itself. He got a lot of votes for Rookie of the Year. He got a vote from Dan Zimborski, who's on the show all the time from Fangraphs. Like his season was legit. Could it have been argued that Paul Skeens had a better season? Sure. Could you argue that Merrill had a better season? Yeah, we made the argument. I don't think you need to disparage Merrill to say that Skeens might be generational. Maybe he will be. I think he might be a generational pitcher. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. No, I firmly think that Jackson should have won Rookie of the Year last year, but I wasn't going to be that upset that Paul Skeens won, even though there is a video of me out there that kind of blew up on our Instagram of me saying, every pitch that Paul Skeens threw last year for the Pirates didn't really matter. Everything that Jackson Merrill did mattered because his team won 93 games. And it's not Paul Skeens' fault that he got drafted to an awful organization. It's not his fault that he is the Ferrari in the garage of a shanty. So if Paul Skeens, if you're looking at just the players and taking the teams out of it, right, and the success of the teams out of it, then yeah, probably absolutely Paul Skeens, Rookie of the Year. But I looked at what Jackson did last year and how he impacted the Padres last season, and to me was the deciding factor as why he should have won Rookie of the Year, in my opinion.
My issue, my issue with the tweet is you're making it sound like, not you, the tweeter is making it sound like Merrill
sucked,
like couldn't hold a candle to Skeens, and that's obviously ridiculous. I could easily argue Paul Skeens Rookie of the Year. Now, I didn't. It's an easy argument to make. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. He had an unbelievable year. He was way more relevant nationally than Jackson Merrill. That's inarguable. Even on a bad team, Paul Skeens got so much more hype and discussion than Jackson Merrill. There's no comparison last year. I think is why he ultimately won the award. Exactly, because there's other stories and factors that go into that. But to say, like, how, first of all, Skeens did win the award. So why are we bringing it up the next year? Like, for people to say that Merrill should have won the award, this guy's generational, what a joke. Like, no. It's fair to say Skeens should have won the award, but don't disparage Merrill in the process and be like, you can't even compare Merrill to Skeens. Well, yeah, because it's a position player and a pitcher. So that is true. They do different things. So Skeens made 23 starts. I could argue 156 appearances or whatever for Merrill's more impactful. But then again, Skeens can't make more than 30 or 31 or 32 appearances. So I think it's stupidity when someone writes something like that, because I just think it's dumb. You can say Skeens should have been a Rookie of the Year. That's fine. I have no problem with that.
Why are we disparaging Jackson Merrill? Kid's a great player. He had a fantastic rookie year. He impacted his team and helped his team to 93 wins. Without Jackson Merrill, they're not sniffing 93 wins last year. Not sniffing 93 wins. What he did last year as a 20-year-old kid, then turning 21, that's some special stuff. And it's not Paul Skeens' fault that he's on an awful team. But for the foreseeable future, I can bet you a lot of money that Paul Skeens will not be pitching in the postseason or having any impactful starts for the Pirates. Jackson Merrill will have way more impactful starts and way more meaningful potential moments to have than Paul Skeens will in the next 5-6 years until Paul Skeens becomes a free agent and he goes to either the Dodgers or the Yankees.
That's such a good point. You're right. I mean, they're 2-5 already. Not that 2-5 makes a season. They hung around for half a year last year, as most teams can in the wild card era. But you're right. If you want to compare what mattered more for their team, then I would say the opposite of what this person said. Be like, yeah, it is a joke, because Merrill played for a team where all those ABs were meaningful all year long, where Skeens, had all those success stories and none of it mattered at all, really, from July 1st on.
No.
For Pittsburgh. So, I mean, again, it's like crying over spilled milk. Not that we're doing it. It's what this person is doing. I don't really understand the relevancy the next year as to whom won the 2024 NL Rookie of the Year when even like Jackson Merrill is over it.
And I would 100% trade Merrill winning Rookie of the Year for, the contract he just signed to be here for the next decade.
Right.
Paul Skeens, great. He has the Rookie of the Year. Pirates fans know this. Unless their ownership completely changes how they operate, which doesn't look like they will, Paul Skeens is most likely not going to be there after his, time is up with the Pirates. Once he is out of control as far as, years and arbitration goes, if he's not signing with the Pirates, Pirates are going to have to offer him like a $300 million contract, and they haven't signed anybody to that big of a contract ever. They're going to do it now with Paul Skeens. And by the way, Paul Skeens, he's 22. He's under team control for what, another 5 years, including this year and 4 more years, right? So by the time this is up, he'll be around 26, 27 years old. Maybe he's already pitched his best baseball. I mean, that's a possibility, right? Because pitchers, with injuries and stuff like that, you can look at it that way.
It's possible.
It's
possible.
I just see that again, it's not Paul Skeens' fault, but Paul Skeens with his time with the Pirates I would bet that he'll never have an impactful game that he pitches when he's wearing a Pirates uniform.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I would say that not only have they never offered a $300 million deal, I don't think they've ever signed a player to a $100 million deal. Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And not only if they offer the $300 million, is he going to want to sign it? Are you going to want $300 million if the team around you
sucks?
Can't win?
No.
Right. So then you have the other 29 teams. To your point, there's going to be 4 or 5 realistic landing spots for Paul Skeens, and he's going to get paid. When he's 26 or 27, to your point, he'll be traded beforehand. But when he does become a free agent, he's got $300 million plus in his future. There's no question about that. Assuming health. So again, I have no issue with Paul Skeens being a really good pitcher. It's just I have an issue when you discredit Jackson Merrill in an attempt to lift up Paul Skeens' season, which, again, I don't think was generationally good. I think it was Rookie of the Year good. If you want to argue that, I'm fine with it. But a 23-start rookie season with a 2 ERA has been done before, and it will be done again. It was a very, very good year, but it's not the best year in baseball history. I promise you that. It's nowhere near generational. All right.
Nope. On
the other side, we'll get to the wrap. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5 p.m. Hour 3 of Jon and Jim comes your way next.
John is in a hot tub on his vacation. He earned 20,000 points by spending $2,000 with his Navy Federal Credit Union More Rewards card. To be clear, you don't have to vacation in a hot tub to redeem this offer. But John did, because the bubbles make him happy. Right now, you can earn 20,000 points when you spend $2,000 in the first 90 days. Offer ends January 1st, 2026. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Visit NavyFederal.org for details.
April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. It's time to highlight the importance of families and communities in preventing child abuse and neglect, which can have lasting effects on a child's mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Let's all do our part in creating safer, supportive environments where kids can thrive. Sometimes support is as simple as helping a family connect with services like food, medical care, or mental health support. If you need resources, visit the County of San Diego Child and Family Wellbeing website and leave a comment.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business, and that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
Lowe's is the destination for Ego outdoor power equipment this spring. See what's new and exclusive, like the 17-inch string trimmer with Line IQ technology that auto-feeds to save you time. And the 22-inch Select Cut self-propelled mowers with a multi-blade system for precise cutting. Shop Ego Days, happening now during Springfest at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
It's never been done before. iHeartRadio and America's favorite TV show, Wheel of Fortune, come together for 1 week only. Music lovers from across the country play for incredible iHeartRadio experiences.
iHeartRadio Jingle Ball Concert. Music Festival. iHeartRadio Music Award.
And you can win too. Play along all week at wheeloffortune.com and you could find yourself at an unforgettable iHeartRadio event.
Start spinning. Good luck.
Starting Monday.
iHeartRadio Week on Wheel of Fortune with me, Ryan Seacrest. Check it out.
KGB and KGB FM HD2 San Diego. #1 on your car radio preset. And on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. 3 never sounded so good.
All right, this update is brought to you by the Jim Buttrell Real Estate Team. We'll start with the Padres. They suffered their first loss of the year to the Cubbies, 3-1 at Wrigley Field. It was the Cubs' opening day. Tomorrow, Game 2 of their 3-game series, 11:20 a.m. first pitch. And Nick Pivetta is on the mound for the Padres. Tomorrow, Final Four gets underway. You can listen to all the Final Four action right here on your home for March Madness. Starting at 3 p.m., Florida and Auburn. Following that game will be Houston and Duke. And the nightcap, right here on the station, will be San Diego FC taking on Seattle Sounders. 7:30 kickoff 7 p.m. pregame. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Petrell has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Previously on Jon and Jim.
I think he's changed a lot. Juan Soto. And maybe that happens with Merrill. We haven't yet seen the career arc.
I really hope not. I hope that
too.
Merrill is this exact same. And he'll just get more mature too.
Yep.
But I just hope that has the exact same attitude with everything for his career.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us in exactly 1 hour from Chicago. Reaction to the first Padres loss of the year, 3-1, as Jim just told you, at Wrigley. Series continues over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 11:20 a.m. Pacific. So Kevin Acee will join us in 1 hour. We also have tickets to give away this hour for Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan, and we will do that. Here's my question for you, Jim, before we get to the wrap. Is any part of you scoreboard watching in baseball on April 4th or not?
No. Now, I keep up with like what's going on around baseball, but I'm not intently, making myself aware of like, all right, what's the D-back score? What's the Giants score? What's the, Phillies score? Like, am I curious? Like, yeah, I want to see what happened today in the Phillies Dodgers game. And yeah, want to see what's going on with the D-backs and the Giants, but I'm not like intently scoreboard watching. Why? Why do you ask?
So you're not going to overreact to the Phillies' big 1-0 lead in the first inning in Philadelphia today against the Dodgers. That's not reason for like stop the presses. The Phillies have scored the first run tonight at Citizens Bank Park.
No, but I do know that the admin for the MLB account on X and Instagram will be very upset that if the Dodgers lose this game, because I'm sure they have a bunch of tweets and graphics ready to go if the Dodgers won to express their love for LA for staying unbeaten.
Did you see or hear this anywhere that through the first week of the season, someone like detailed which team has been mentioned the most on MLB social media?
I did.
Have you seen? All right, so you know the answer. It's Dodgers 1, Yankees 2, Padres 3. Of course, the Padres have gotten off to a 7-0 start, so I think that supports them being top 3 in mentions, but it's been Dodgers 1, not surprising. They won the World Series there right now. Number 2, Yankees, not surprising. They're the New York Yankees. Number 3, I don't think it's surprising because the Padres are 7-0, but I think if the Padres weren't 7-0, they wouldn't be sitting in that third position, would be my guess.
Yeah, I don't have too much of a problem with it. I mean, there are times where it's like nauseating to see how much they tweet about the Dodgers, but they know that they're their bell cow. And Shohei Ohtani is the number 1 player in the sport. And when he does something great, they're going to tweet an ungodly amount of tweets about him. And that's just what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Because they know where their bread is buttered and they know how engagement works, just like we know how engagement works. And you just continue to ride that engagement train of what gets you the most views and clicks and likes, and that's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I kind of respect him for it because we did 60 consecutive shows mentioning Roki Sasaki in a headline.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
Who are we? Those in glass houses should not throw stones. All right, we will get to the wrap right now.
It's time for the wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Who wins a Lakers-Warriors playoff series?
Dude, that game was really, really good last night. Glad I was wrong. I don't know, dude. I could see that going 6 or 7. I just think that Luka would play better in a series over the Warriors. So I think the Lakers would have the upper hand. It depends on who has his home court. If the Lakers have home court, I'll take the Lakers. If the Warriors had home court, I might lean Warriors. So yeah, it's tough. It's a tough series. I want the Warriors, obviously, but Lakers are also really good, and LeBron and Luka, they're going to have games where they're unstoppable in the postseason. They just are. And to face them in the first round, man, that would be such a hard first round series to watch. The NBA is like, why couldn't we have this be like closer to the Western Conference Finals? But it'd be a great series. Ratings would be through the roof.
Yeah, it's far from a guarantee because the Lakers right now are a half game behind Denver for the 3 seed. The Warriors are a half game better than Memphis for. So it's right there. I mean, there's all types of changes that could occur over the final, whatever it is, week or 2 weeks of the regular season. I like your home court point. Right now, the Lakers are a game better than the Warriors, so maybe that gives them the edge. If the Warriors pass the Warriors an edge. Warriors have played well, haven't they, since Jimmy Butler?
They are 20-4
So,
since the Jimmy Butler
Since Jimmy
acquisition.
Butler?
And then
honestly, man, then I kind of like the Warriors. The Lakers have gotten the hype, but the Warriors have done it on floor. I mean, 20-4, that kind of speaks for itself. I feel like I would take the Warriors.
And with
in
the
series.
with the starting lineup that they had last night, when they have had that starting lineup with Jimmy Butler in it, they're 13-0 with that starting lineup this year.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I kind of like the Warriors, truthfully.
Okay.
Next question.
Do you guys have any reaction to Trey Lance signing with the Chargers?
He signed with the Chargers? That's my reaction. He did what?
I wish I was a quarterback, man. $6.2 million. Has he ever been on a field? He was with the Niners. That's been a
Briefly.
while, though.
I feel bad for him, truthfully. He needs to go somewhere where he can play, and there's nowhere for him to play in the NFL. So, I know there are rumors out there of him going to like the CFL or somewhere like wherever. Like, the dude just needs to play football, and he's not going to play football as a backup in the NFL. He's not getting an opportunity to start. He's a career backup, and at the end of the day, the time has passed for Trey Lance. The COVID year really screwed him because he didn't get it to play football, enough football, and I think that he's just a career backup, and we'll never ever see Trey Lance do anything significant in the NFL ever.
I would rather never play and cash $6.2 million checks for the next 15 years than go play in the UFL and be the UFL MVP or the Canadian Football League MVP. That's
Correct.
just me.
Yeah.
Because $6.2 million times 15 is a lot of money, and winning in the UFL, nobody cares. Nobody's ever watched the UFL. Nobody knows who won last year in the UFL. Nobody watches Canadian football. Let's be honest. I'll take the money. Next question.
Yes.
Which Padre will have the best offensive season?
I'll go with screw it. I'll go with Jackson Merrill. I still have to see Fernando Tatis Jr. stay healthy. If you remember last year, Tatis also got out to a hot start, and then he got hurt, and he was on one leg. And he made the All-Star team last year as a starter, but he was on one leg, wasn't healthy, and so I'm going to need to see him prove that he can stay healthy before I can, say Tatis is going to have the best offensive year as a Padre. I'll go with Jackson Merrill. I think, he's only going to get better and better. And it's nice that he's hitting over 400 right now. Dude just battles every at bat. He never gives in. And I'm loving everything I'm seeing from Jackson Merrill right now.
Very fair. I could easily make that argument. I'll go with Tatis. And you're right. It might be against better judgment because of his health in his career that has always held him back. It's not his talent or ability, that's for sure. He can clearly hit 40 home runs in a season because he's done it. We've seen it with our own eyes. He did it in 130 games. I'm going to trust Tatis this year, hopefully not against my better judgment, to stay healthy, hit 40 home runs, steal 30 bases. Those are my expectations for Fernando Tatis Jr. I think it's fair. Doesn't mean it happens. But I expect 40 home runs, 30 steals, and being as impactful as any Padre in 2025, which I think is fair for a 26-year-old. He is in the prime of his career, season number 7, time to put together your career year if you're Fernando Tatis Jr. That's how I look at it. Next question.
Is tomorrow a must-win game for SDFC? Had to wait for it. Put some suspense into
I like
it.
that.
I was like,
Yeah.
wait.
This show you never can tell.
Could have
been anyone.
Could have been Duke. It's tomorrow a must-win game for Auburn. Padres? Like, who are you talking about? No, it's not. Actually, I was at their Sharp Health training facility the other day, John. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you said it on air yesterday about 30 times.
Actually, no, I didn't. I don't remember. Did I say it on the air?
Brent.
Did I mention it yesterday? Like a bunch? Or like one time? See, Brent's shaking his head. He doesn't remember.
No, Brent doesn't listen to us. To his credit, Brent doesn't listen.
You don't listen to us. I don't listen to us.
Mentioned
None of
on
us
air
listen to us.
Right.
I just wanted to say that their facility, awesome. It's amazing. Shout out Alonzo for showing me around a little bit. That was great. Got to meet Mike Arraez in person. Great guy. It's awesome. We'll get him on our show.
Our brains and our bodies. Listen to science stuff.
What's happening? What's the question? Oh, the must win? No, it's not. But building
the Sharp training facility is nice.
Yeah, but building on what they have done the last couple matches here against LAFC, bouncing back after the Austin loss, picking up 3 points at home tomorrow. It's a good litmus test for this team. Seattle's a measuring stick for a lot of teams in MLS, and so far they have shown up against really good teams, and they have definitely proven that they belong on the field with clubs like LAFC and the Galaxy and St. Louis and Austin. It's like they have shown that they belong. So obviously it's not a must win, but picking up 3 points tomorrow, getting 14 points in your first 7 matches of the year, that's huge. They would have signed up for that in a second.
Yeah, Seattle's only won once this year, just so everyone's clear. They have one win in 6 matches. There's a point here in our comments on YouTube that says they're playing with house money all season. So there are no must-win games for San Diego FC. I would have agreed with that to enter the year, but I'm not going to feel that way if we get into like the final third of the year and they're in playoff positioning and then they fall out of it. I feel as if the expectations then will be to find their way into the postseason. I think there'll be a level of disappointment if with 8 matches to go, they're in playoff positioning and then they don't make it, or maybe 4 matches to go and they need to, win one of them or 2 of them to get in. So yeah, I do think there's a level of house money because they're an expansion team, but I think if they play well, your expectations might rise as the season goes on. I think that's healthy and reasonable. And I would say that if they're the first or second team in the standings in the West at the halfway point, I would expect them to make the postseason at that point.
Well, they feel that way already. They feel that they deserve to be mentioned with some of the better teams in MLS right now. They're not going to back down from anybody, and their goals are to make the playoffs and get better every single week. And they are not content as a club with just showing up because they're this new shiny object and yay, everybody's happy that we have a MLS club in San Diego. Like, no, they have ideas and goals and aspirations to compete and to win at a high level and to compete for MLS Cups. Like, that's what I love about them so far, is that they're not just going to settle and be content. That when they lose, or if they do have a match at home where it ends up in a draw, they are not happy with it. They believe that they should win. And that's what's happened so far this year in a couple home matches where they ended up, with only a point getting a draw. And after the match, they weren't satisfied. So I love that about them so far early on. And you're right. If there comes a point in this season later on where they are firmly in the playoff picture, then guess what? That's the expectation, is playoffs and contending and competing for an MLS Cup. So I love that.
I mean, there are 5 winless teams in Major League Soccer. So the conversation is way different if through 6 matches they're winless, like these other 5 teams, but they're not. They've gotten off to this very good start. And again, it's early. There's so many matches. Major League Soccer has 34 regular season matches. They played 6. That's less than 20% of their schedule. But again, off to a good start. We'll see if that continues tomorrow against Seattle. All right, much more reaction to the Padres dropping their first game of the year. That was earlier today in Chicago against the Cubs. Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5 p.m. And this hour, your chance to win Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan tickets. This will be May 15th here in San Diego at the North Island Chula Vista Amphitheater. Continued reaction to the Padres' first loss of the year, and Kevin Acee at 5 on Jon and Jim.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Ski Little Pelican causing all sorts of trouble along the coastline. First, he was cruising around the right lane of southbound 5 near La Costa, and a couple of cars stopped, and now a crash happened. So that's in the left lane, and traffic is backed up to Palomar Airport Road. I'm Laura Kane with traffic.
Lowe's is the destination for Ego outdoor power equipment this spring. Shop exclusive new and innovative products during Ego Days and get great deals too. It's all happening now during Springfest at Lowe's. They help you save. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
San Diego's Sports 760 tournament coverage is brought to you by Valley View Casino and Hotel.
You need a fix of the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Search 1015 KGB on iHeartRadio.
SDCCU's checking accounts are awesome. You can check your balance anywhere with the SDCCU mobile app. You can use your debit card everywhere you shop, and you'll get access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. And for a limited time, listen to this. If you open a free checking with eStatements account at any of their convenient Southern California branch locations, you're going to get a free ticket to Legoland California Resort. Yeah, federally insured by NCUA while supplies last. For details, go to sdccu.com/Legoland.
Your tickets for the San Diego Giving Back raffle helps families at our local Ronald McDonald House stay close when their hospitalized child needs them most, and gives you a chance to win a Carlsbad Beach House, dream vacations, and so much more. Visit sdraffle.com to get your tickets today.
We can make your bathroom shine. Right on price, right on time. Miramar Kitchen and Bath.
Hi, I'm Nicole Donnelly, and for 34 years, I've owned and managed Miramar Kitchen and Bath alongside my husband, Martin.
We treat every project like it's our own home, and we'll be with you every step of the way.
When you choose Miramar Kitchen and Bath for your kitchen or bathroom remodel, you're working directly with a husband and wife team who care about every detail. Because this isn't just business for us, it's personal.
At Miramar Kitchen and Bath, we believe your experience matters. That's why our experience matters.
Simply call Miramar Kitchen and Bath today at 858-271-8434 to set up a consultation, or visit our website at miramarkitchenandbath.com.
Our grandson Miles has a message for you.
Call my family today. Miramar Kitchen and Bath.
Contractor's license 657333.
Ready for the final games of the college basketball tournament? What if you could do more than watch? What if you could make money on the outcome? Now you can with Kalshi, the first platform legally available in all 50 states where you can trade on real-world events. Sports, Bitcoin prices, upcoming elections, even the Oscars. Kalshi helps turn predictions into profit. Use code RADIO or sign up and get $10 when you trade 100. That's Kalshi, Kalshi.com. Or download the Kalshi app and start trading anytime, anywhere.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
From the very beginning, iHeart has believed in me.
Even now, I still get excited when I hear one of my songs playing on the radio.
Thank you, iHeartRadio, for honoring the truth I've fought for in my music.
Because we believe in the power of music. All your favorite artists, all in one place. The free iHeartRadio app.
Get in the herd. Since Coach K took over Duke and Jon Shire, they've had 90 guys in the NBA. I think Cooper Flagg's going to be their best NBA player ever. Cooper Flagg is entering the league at 18. He was 17 when the season started.
Get in the herd.
IQ, shooting, passing. He's an excellent defender. He's got to become a better ball handler in the pros, no question. But the kid is just fantastic.
Weekday mornings at 9. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, here until 6 p.m. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider from Chicago, will join the show coming up at 5 p.m. We do remind you that all next week, it's iHeartRadio week, only on Wheel of Fortune. Surprise appearances by some of the biggest names in music. It's also your chance at home to win incredible trips to exclusive iHeartRadio events. Watch Wheel of Fortune. Check your local listings. Busy sports weekend. Of course, nationally, you've got the Final Four that you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. Locally, of the Padres on the road, SDFC at home. You can hear SDFC tomorrow night. Pre-match coverage will begin at 7 p.m. Part of me kind of wishes, part of me with the Final Four takes me back to 2023.
Such a cool sporting experience. I can't compare it to the Super Bowl, even though we've done Radio Row, because I've never been in the Super Bowl.
I was
but
about to say, why does it bring you back?
It brings me back because of San Diego State.
I know.
But it was such a cool sporting event and environment at such a party, specifically Saturday. To me, Saturday is like the event because you have all 4 teams playing. That's the carnival. That's the spectacle. Come Monday night, it's about winning a national championship. But Saturday is just such a spectacular sporting event that I'm envious. You just sent me a tweet of like John Fanta down there, our buddy. I'm so envious of everyone in San Antonio.
I know.
Having a chance to take in a Final Four this weekend because it was such a cool experience 2 years ago.
Yeah. John Fanta was on a Barstool, I guess, podcast. He's royalty in college basketball. He is just so good. He was making that the analogy of like tomorrow, we're going to watch 4 historic teams play against each other. And for everybody upset that there's no Cinderellas or there's, no big upsets. Okay, well, that's fine. But you know what we are going to get? We are going to get 4 of the best teams, in recent memory in college basketball playing against each other tomorrow night. And you should be excited about that. If you're a college basketball fan, like, yes, would you have liked to see more buzzer beaters this tournament? Yeah. Would you have liked to see maybe a couple more upsets in this tournament? Yeah. But the phrase of the road ends here. The road ends with 4 of the best teams in recent memory all playing against each other. He was making an analogy of like, you're going to see a blockbuster movie and it's up to the players to watching this be met with your expectations of you're watching the 4 best teams in college basketball. You're also watching probably the 4 best teams in recent memory in college basketball, all playing against each other. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have no issue with it. I mean, would we complain if the top seed in the Eastern Conference is playing the top seed in the Western Conference in the NBA Finals? Some people actually would. Maybe Cleveland, Oklahoma City, as opposed to Golden State and LA. But would you complain if the top team in the National League played the top team in the American League? Would you prefer that the play-in games were the NBA Finals? Is that the preference, that a team that's 36-44 plays a team that's 37-45? People love Cinderella in college basketball. That includes me, but that doesn't mean Cinderella has to be a part of every single tournament every single year. This isn't the first time we've had really good 1 seeds in a Final Four exclusively. Happened in like 2007 or 2008. So you made this point like a week ago. Once this was finalized on Sunday or Monday, this isn't a bad thing. Hopefully we'll see great games. That's my hope, that you have these great teams playing great games over the next 3 days, 2 games Saturday, 1 game Monday. I don't think it's a bad thing. I love the tournament, but I think it speaks to the committee's job of doing their job. The 4 top teams, according to the committee, are playing each other this weekend. I don't see that as a bad thing.
I don't either. I don't at all. Fans love to watch stars against other stars. That's why in the NBA, star power means a lot. Yeah, Oklahoma City and Cleveland, they're the 2 best teams. Shea is a star. Is he a superstar yet? No. It's not bigger than LeBron or Steph or Luka or KD, right? But in Cleveland, they're more of a team-oriented type of team, with Donovan Mitchell being their probably star, but he's not a superstar. And you love watching superstars in college basketball. I feel like you love these are the best teams with superstars on it. I mean, Cooper Flagg, the number 1 pick in the draft, if he goes out next year, he's in the Final Four. If you're a college basketball fan, you want to see that, right? You want to see the number 1 pick in the Final Four.
Yeah, I kind of have enjoyed the Cooper Flagg story because there was so much hype. And not often do you get a player with that kind of hype coming in necessarily live up to it. I mean, there's other examples of it, but Cooper Flagg was out of like a high school in Maine. And Maine is not like the number 1 producer of college talent, let alone NBA talent. So I remember thinking when Cooper Flagg was bursting onto the scene, like, is this guy going to be the real deal? And he's been completely the real deal. Named the AP Player of the Year today. Arguably the best player on the best team in America. We'll find that out over the next 72 hours or so. But I'm with you. Like, and I get it. I like Cinderellas. I like the story that played out in 2023, obviously. It wasn't just San Diego State. Miami was in that. FAU, I think UConn won the national championship as a 4 seed. So I appreciate that as well. But I also appreciate good players on good teams, or really special players on really special teams. Now, I don't know if these 4 teams are, separate from UConn of the last 2 years. Like, do you think that this Duke team is better than the last 2 UConn teams if Duke were to, in fact, win the national championship?
I don't know. What do you think? You saw UConn up close 2 years in a row.
I don't think Duke. I can't see with my own 2 eyes how they'd be discernibly better. I'm not saying they're worse, but I think UConn's been pretty darn good with those 2 teams the last 2 years.
It'd be a good matchup to watch. But what if this Duke team rolls past Houston and potentially on Florida or Auburn, right? Like that you're gonna have to
maybe.
look. Then you're gonna have to probably rethink that and say, yeah, maybe actually Duke.
Although I think didn't UConn beat they beat a 1 seed in Purdue in the national championship by 20 last year, didn't they? And I don't know who they beat in the Final Four, but they rolled through. They didn't have a single-digit game, right, in any of those 2 tournaments.
No, they didn't. They're
12
all
straight games,
all double-digit wins. Historic run, man.
So crazy stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we have comments from Randy Vasquez we'll share with you on the other side on today's start at Wrigley Field. Padres lose their first game of the year. Plus, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, he will join us from Wrigley Field in Chicago, or he'll join us from Chicago coming up at 5 p.m. We're here until 6 p.m. Don't go anywhere. It's Jon and Jim.
Jon is in a hot tub on his vacation. He earned 20,000 points by spending $2,000 with his Navy Federal Credit Union More Rewards card. To be clear, you don't have to vacation in a hot tub to redeem this offer. But Jon did, because the bubbles make him happy. Right now, you can earn 20,000 points when you spend $2,000 in the first 90 days. Offer ends January 1st, 2026. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Visit NavyFederal.org for details.
Hey there, Aztec fans. Be sure to step up to the plate and come out to support your San Diego State baseball team as they continue their season at Tony Gwynn Stadium. Join your Aztecs when they host the Fresno State Bulldogs from April 11th through April 13th. Tickets starting at just $7. For our full schedule, promotions, and tickets, simply visit GoAztecs.com. Again, that's GoAztecs.com. And we'll see you this April for Aztec baseball. Go Aztecs!
Hey, it's Fletch, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. 10 million members, billions of dollars awarded and winning so far. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app, super easy to use to create a lineup. You just pick more or less on a few player stats for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money this baseball season. Springtime is here. Baseball season officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Download the app today. Use promo code FLETCH, FLETCH, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code FLETCH on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game all around the bases all season long on Prize Picks.
Come catch all the big tournament action and cheer on your favorite team at OG's. Stop in and try the featured fried lasagna or burrata bruschetta and pesto crostini. And end the meal with a brookie cookie bake. OG's is the place to catch all the exciting tournament action. And don't forget, if you come into your favorite location, you'll be entered for the chance to win a custom OG's beach wagon. Whether it's a featured menu item, OG sticks, or your favorite brew, OG's has it all. Find your nearest location at OG's.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Learn more at HamulCasino.com.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power tool for your project, at Harbor Freight, your dollar always goes further. And these days, when everything seems to cost more, you can take pride in knowing that you get hardworking tools at hardworking prices. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
San Diego sports. Now.
This update's brought to you by the Jim Patrol Real Estate Team. Padres suffer their first loss of the year to the Cubs, losing 3-1. Tomorrow, game 2 of their 3-game series, 11:20 a.m. first pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. Final 4 gets underway tomorrow afternoon, starting at 3 p.m. First game will be Florida against Auburn, and then Houston and Duke at 5:45. You can listen to both those games right here on the home of March Madness, San Diego Sports 760. And then the nightcap, San Diego FC takes on Seattle Sounders, 7:30 kickoff, 7 p.m. pregame. Listen to that match right here on San Diego Sports 760. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Petrell is the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee at 5 p.m. Your chance to win tickets to see Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan coming up later this hour. We'll tell you how to win. We're not going to do Trainwreck Radio, but we'll tell you when to call, how to win Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan tickets. That'll be May 15th right here in San Diego. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Would you like to hear, it's not really hear from Martin Maldonado, but would you like to know what he said about Randy Vasquez here today, Jim?
Yeah, what do you got?
He said that they did a pretty good job of laying off his pitches. The inning when they scored the last 2 runs, he was a little bit too cute with some pitches. That top of the lineup, they don't strike out a ton. They don't chase a ton. So 2 quick outs, have a base hit to left. I think from there he tried to be a little bit too cute on the corners. That was Martin Maldonado in the UT. Kevin Acee's postgame recap of this game. And again, Kevin will join us coming up in less than 30 minutes.
I would agree with that. Randy Vasquez today, even Mike Shildt said it, like, got to cut down the walks. And for Mike Shildt standards, that's basically criticizing a guy. Like,
right.
And that's the only way that Randy Vasquez is gonna stay up at the big leagues, is you can't walk guys as much as you walk guys. You have to be in the zone. You know, you aren't. I mean, Blake Snell can get away with it because he has amazing stuff, but he also is the most frustrating pitcher in the sport. Randy Vasquez is going to have to throw more strikes. He's going to have to cut down on the walks to stay in this rotation. That's just a fact. I thought that through his first 2 starts, good. His first start of the year was really good. But he still also threw a lot of balls in that game and had a lot of walks. So 5 walks today, that's just not a winning recipe. But he did, limit damage, and the bullpen did limit damage, only allowing 3 runs total as a team. Like, that's fine. It is just got to cut down on those walks.
Xander Bogaerts postgame telling Kevin or the media, game of inches. I probably should have thrown to first. So there was a moment in the game that could have been the difference between winning and losing. It was 1-1, bases loaded in the 5th. Yuki Matsui came on, got a ground ball on the left side. Bogaerts actually made a good play to field it. He threw to second, but the throw was late. And again, Bogaerts saying, I probably should have thrown to first. I don't know what would have happened. When you do something like that, you obviously kind of second guess because it didn't work out. So again, it is a game of inches, and it was a ground ball on the left side of the infield. I thought when he was hit, they got out of it because Bogaerts made the play, threw to second. The runner beat the throw. The Cubs took a lead. They didn't relinquish. But again, over 162, this is going to happen. You're going to benefit from some of that. Over 162, you're not going to benefit at times, like what played out here today. And they've again played it well through these 8 games. Today it didn't go their way, but there's really not a lot to complain about today. And we'll talk to Kevin about it coming up at 5 p.m. But again, this isn't the day to overreact or even react strongly, in my opinion.
And this is what happens when you jump out to a 7-0 start. You can lose a game like today, and nobody's concerned about it except for Jackson Merrill. He's just pissed off they lost. But other than that, everybody else is like, okay, we move on. That's the best kind of feeling to have as a fan, when losses like today don't affect you as much as, if the Braves lose to the Marlins today, and they're 0-8. And then you're like, all right, I want to fight somebody right now. But when the Padres are 7-0 and you lose your first game of the year in game 8 of the season and you're 7-1, just move on.
Completely. Yeah, completely agree. And we'll see how they play this weekend. Again, a year ago, they played better on the road than at home, at least to start the year.
They were really
That's
good on
what
the road.
kept them above water. They were 50-50 because of their road play, not because of their home play. So I was really encouraged by that in general in 2024, and I was hoping that would continue in 2025. Hopefully it does. Because, again, we've said this before. I mean, it's not rocket science. Just winning half of your road games puts you in an amazing position to make postseasons. And last year, they were able to do that. They've been a good road team. I bet that's going to be a trait they have again in 2025. I see no reason why that doesn't be part of the formula for the Padres in 2025. And hopefully we'll see that more, coming up this weekend or next week in Sacramento against the A's. But again, the 7 wins were so good. I said this earlier, Jim. I didn't expect them to lose today because they've been playing so well. I'm like, I wonder what type of effort it's going to take. And when it was a 1-1 game, I'm like, oh, they'll find a way, right? They get the Maldonado home run. They're right back in it. Or in the 9th inning, they're trailing 3-1. They've got runners at second and third. I'm like, oh, they're just a base hit away. All good things come to an end. It came to an end here today. Maybe a 7-game winning streak's on the other side. Maybe not, but we'll see.
And in baseball, the adage is you go 500 on the road, play 600 ball at home. More often than not, you're a postseason team. And so,
right.
They were a really good road team last year, and they were an average home team until the final 2 months of the season where they just took off like a rocket ship and just went on the craziest run in franchise history. But so far, being 7-0 at home, 0-1 on the road, okay, it's fine. 3-3 road trip. At worst, you're 10-3 when you get home next Friday against the Rockies, who are currently losing to the Sacramento A's right now in snow, by the way. Did you see that today? It's like snowing in Denver.
Jeez.
It's ridiculous. It's
Doesn't
snowing.
shock me.
It's snowing and they're still playing. And it's their home opener for the Rockies today. Home opener against the A's. How about that? Think it's sold out?
Oh, that's a huge game. Honestly, it might be. I mean, the Rockies typically draw, even though they've been awful for the last decade. But I don't know. Yeah, playing in snow opening day against the A's is not a formula to sell 50,000 tickets.
No, it's not.
Or whatever. Yeah. I'm just looking at some of these quotes here again in Kevin's article. We heard from Mike Shildt earlier. You're right. I think in terms of Shildt-isms, like he probably was critical of Vasquez. But he also said he gave up 2 hits. Stuff was good, kept them off balance, just not enough. The free passes, And Vasquez said the same thing, by the way. He said, I felt good with my pitches. I just lacked control. That's the quote from Randy Vasquez. So everyone's spot on there. You said his control was off. Mike Shildt said it. Vasquez mentioned it. Martin Maldonado's catching him. I mean, there's nobody that knows it better than the catcher in that spot. And despite it all, he goes 4 2/3 innings. It's a 1-1 game when he leaves. A couple of runs score, and then the final is 3-1. But again, you live to see another day. I'm curious to hear what Kevin just has to say about the start of this season overall. Have we talked to Kevin since the Merrill extension, Jim, or not? When was the extension?
We did talk to him.
Oh, was it Wednesday?
Yeah, because the Merrill extension happened that morning. So we talked to Kevin
all right.
that day, yes.
So just in general, to get Kevin's thoughts on the start of the season for the Padres at 7-1.
So if you're Atlanta right now in a scoreless game in the bottom of the 2nd inning, if you're an Atlanta Braves fan, you're freaking out, right?
Because they have to win the game, you're saying?
Literally a must-win game for the Braves. If you lose to the Marlins on your opening day and fall to 0-8, oh my God. And somehow, yesterday we talked about it.
Is that the full panic? Yeah, that would be full panic.
Full panic, bro. For a team that had aspirations and still does of winning the World Series. Absolutely. And it's crazy how Fangraphs has Atlanta's percent chance to make the postseason higher, or at least winning the division higher than the Padres, even though the Padres are 7-1 right now. That was very weird, right? Yesterday, remember that?
It's super weird. Yeah, no, it wasn't even particularly close, right? Yesterday, didn't you say Atlanta had a much better chance of reaching the postseason, right? By 10 or 15 or 20%?
Well, to win the division, it was much better. It was a 33% chance to win their division. Padres moved from 4% to 5%. But to make the postseason, Braves still had I want to say like a 60-something% chance, and the Padres were at around like mid 50s% chance. It's like, what?
Yeah, like at what point do you believe you're not a good team if you're Atlanta? That's always the fear. That's the benefit of a good start. All of a sudden you believe and you might be better than you actually are. But you start 1-9 and you like go home and you talk to your girlfriend or your wife, you're like, we might not be very good. You might not say that publicly, right. But like your wife is going to be like, do you guys suck? Like it starts to creep into your mind. Not to mention they're dealing with injuries, and they blew a 5-run lead as an 0-6 team and got walked off. So, like, that's a pretty low point to start your season from. Now, it's not insurmountable. It is Atlanta. They have a good franchise. They could absolutely dig out of it. But could they what could they not dig out of? Could you start 0-10? Could you start 1-12? Like, how low is low? If you're Atlanta or anyone, truthfully.
That's pretty low. 1-12, John, you are in an uphill battle for months. Unless you rip off 10 in a row, and that like rarely happens. You don't see many teams rip off 10 in a row in a season. It's just like, especially for a team that would potentially have start 1-12. You're going to win 4, lose 2, win 3, lose 1. Like, it's just a seesaw battle back and forth. But if you put yourself in this big of a hole to start, yeah, it could take like months for you to even just get back to 500.
That's the beauty of the Padres start at 7-1. They've got a little bit of wiggle room here to start April. All right, Kevin Acee is going to join us coming up at 5 p.m. Coming up next, we will give away those tickets to see Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan coming up May 15th right here in San Diego at the Chula Vista Amphitheater, plus Kevin Acee from Chicago at 5 p.m. right here on Jon and Jim.
Dixie Line Lumber and Home Centers, helping San Diegans fix it, build it, and enjoy it for over 100 years. San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the San Diego Zoo Panda Ridge.
The biggest slowdown we have is down the coast, southbound 5 from Cannon to just past La Costa, where a crash occurred in the left lane. It's slow southbound 163 from Friars to Balboa Park to the 5, and southbound 805 almost clear, just a little slowing from the 163 to the 15. I'm Laura Kane.
The pandas are back at the San Diego Zoo. Meet Singbao and Yunchuan at Panda Ridge as you become immersed in their natural surroundings. Your visit to the San Diego Zoo helps protect pandas and the bamboo forest they depend on. See pandas for the first time so we can see them for generations to come.
Drinking sugary drinks can increase the risk of type 2 diabetes. Visit uncoverhealthyhabits.com for more.
Ready for the final games of the college basketball tournament? What if you could do more than watch? What if you could make money on the outcome? Now you can with Kalshi, the first platform legally available in all 50 states where you can trade on real-world events. Sports, Bitcoin prices, upcoming elections, even the Oscars. Kalshi helps turn predictions into profit. Use code RADIO or sign up and get $10 when you trade 100. That's Kalshi, Kalshi.com. Or download the Kalshi app and start trading anytime, anywhere.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next 2 combined. So whatever your customers are into, true crime, sports, comedy, culture, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. And all this reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for you. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time, call 844-844-iHeart and get podcasting working for you.
Time for a March Madness schedule update. Half of the NCAA Men's Elite Eight is set. Tonight decides the rest. From the South region in Atlanta, the 1 seed Auburn meets Michigan. And Michigan State looks to stop Ole Miss's tournament roll. And from Indianapolis, the Midwest top seed Houston battles Purdue, along with Tennessee, Kentucky in an all-SEC battle. Stay tuned for Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA tournament right here.
It's time for basketball, and Uber Eats is dropping deals on game day favorites to keep you locked in on the action. Like when you're craving a buzzer beater, but also buffalo wings. Or when an upset makes you want to ugly cry into a pizza. And right now, Uber Eats has game day deals from McDonald's, Popeyes, Pizza Hut, Wendy's, and hundreds more local favorites. So you can keep your eyes on the ball and your hands on a hamburger. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Florida, Duke, Houston, Auburn. They are the Final Four. Live from San Antonio to see who plays for the national championship. Tomorrow, we'll get underway at high noon with a Final Four preview show with tip-off at 1. The road to one shining moment is here. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We'll give away those Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson tickets in the next 5 or 6 or 7 minutes. So be listening for a chance to win Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan tickets May 15th right here in San Diego. A reminder, download the all-new iHeartRadio app, and when you do it, put San Diego Sports 760 as your first preset. The all-new iHeartRadio app, you can listen to Jon and Jim right there. Put San Diego Sports 760 in your presets, put Jon and Jim in your presets to listen back to any hour or any interview. So we'll give away those tickets again coming up in a moment. Did you see what Deion Sanders had to say about Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, his son? He said, I don't know if you saw it, that he thinks he'll go 2 overall later this month.
He did what?
Would you agree with that?
You broke up there and you sounded like you were an alien. What did you say?
I said I was an alien.
Okay. That's good. No, I did not see what they said, but I'm sure that it was along the lines of they're amazing, they're great, they should be the number 1 and number 2 picks in the draft, and if the teams don't draft them, they're stupid. Right?
Should I reconnect?
I would reconnect during the break before Kevin. I think you're fine.
I just reconnected last break.
Well, then reconnect next break. Just keep reconnecting every single break.
All show.
Oh, okay.
That's what I've done.
How long does it take to reconnect?
What'd you say? 2 seconds?
Then reconnect right now. It's
I'm
fine.
going to do it right now.
Do it right now. It's fine. All right, John's going to reconnect. If you're wondering where Jon is in Palm Springs right now for the weekend, doing the show from his Airbnb bedroom. So if you want to see where Jon is at, what his bedroom looks like in Palm Springs, how you done?
Looks nice.
You can watch us on YouTube, Jon and Jim 760. See our faces, see our reactions, watch us talk, watch Jon in his bedroom in Palm Springs, but he's currently reconnecting.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
That's quick.
Yeah, it takes 2 seconds. But there's a reason probably why, people do this from a studio. 1 and 2 Sanders and Hunter. In watching this past year play out, truthfully, it wouldn't be that surprising.
So wait, what did he say? Because I could not hear you.
Well, he said he thought they should go 1 and 2.
Okay, I was right. So that's what I thought.
Which
he said.
Again, I don't disagree with. I don't know if they will go 1 and 2 overall. I don't think they will go 1 and 2 overall, but they have maybe earned it. I mean, Hunter, if he's playing both ways, and Sanders, based on the last 2 years he put together in college, I could see them. They'll be high picks.
They'll be definitely top 5. I'd be surprised if one of them drops. If the Giants have an opportunity at 3, right? So you got Cam Ward looking like he's going to go to Tennessee at 1. Abdul Carter looking like he's going to go to Cleveland number 2. Which would, scary thought to have Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett on your defensive line. But you still don't have a quarterback. And then at number 3, if Shedeur is there for the Giants, now they've signed Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. There's talk of the Giants taking Travis Hunter there. And if they passed on Shedeur, I mean, they could. This regime in New York could look really stupid once again, potentially.
Well, that's the thing. They've already looked stupid.
I know they have.
I don't think they pass on a quarterback third overall just because they have aging veteran quarterbacks, right? Because none of those options that you just mentioned will be with them in, let's say, 2 years, certainly 3, where if you draft a quarterback, you'll have them under control for 4+ automatically. I think it would be a mistake to pass up a quarterback when you're settling with quarterbacks in their mid-30s. If you're the New York Giants, you got to go build this thing back up again. You got to pretend like you're back at the base, and you got to start over. If you're New York, they've started over for forever. I'd go quarterback. If I have the 3rd overall pick, there's no assurance you're going to get the quarterback you want a year from now. So I'd go quarterback.
Yeah, when you have this high of a draft pick, you kind of almost got to, pick a quarterback, just because if you don't, there's a chance that you're going to be looking for one for a long period of time. And there's no guarantees that next year there's a quarterback in the draft that would be as good as Shedeur Sanders. Like everyone's ripping on Shedeur, and I still think there's some issues with him as far as his personality goes. But I think you can overlook that when the guy completes 75% of his passes, right? You can overlook some things. He might be a little bit of a diva, might be a lot of bit of a diva, but I look at him, and Colin Cowherd made this good point. Like at Colorado, they did not have a good offensive line. They had no running game, and he took a 1-win Colorado team to a 9-win Colorado team. Isn't that kind of like what you want from your quarterback if you suck? To have a quarterback that didn't play at Alabama with 5-star players everywhere. You want a guy that played at a school with not a lot of 5-star players, but some good players, and took that team and elevated that team. That's what you're expected to do if you're a top quarterback drafted in the draft. And if you get drafted to a bad team, you already have experience because you were not on a great team in college. The reason why they won 9 games mostly was because of you and Travis Hunter.
How high could Ashton Jeanty go in this draft? 2,600 rushing yards last year. In Heisman voting to Travis Hunter. Everyone's devalued the running back, but then again, maybe it's back in with Saquon Barkley season for a Super Bowl champ. How high will Ashton Jeanty go? I think he could be a top 7 pick, right?
7. Okay. So then where? Okay. So right now, here's the top 10: Tennessee, Cleveland, the Giants, New England at 4, Jacksonville 5, Raiders at 6, Jets at 7, Carolina 8, Saints at 9, Bears at 10. Where does Jeanty fit best in the top 10 to you, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point because it's not like the Raiders are a running back away. But then again, it's not going to hurt your offense. It's going to make it better.
And they already signed Geno. Geno's the guy for the next couple of years.
Right. I just think, I don't know about the fit specifically because you could argue why the Giants took Saquon Barkley and he just kind of was there for bad teams for all of those years, but he was still a really good player.
Yeah.
I just think from a talent perspective, like I'm drafting the talent over the position here. And his talent is so far above basically anyone else, certainly at his position, that, I mean, how far could he drop, I guess, would be the other question. Like, you think he's not a top 10 pick? Do you think he's a top 15 pick?
I think a couple teams make some real sense for him. 12 with Dallas. That makes sense.
He's
Brent,
from Texas.
Brent, what's your running back situation like in Chicago? I don't see it there.
We don't need him.
Yeah, I don't see it in Chicago.
It'd be one thing if like this was a 2nd round pick, but not top 10. They have other pressing needs.
Yeah, way more pressing needs than a running back.
And we just got Swift last year, so
I do think 6 with the Raiders does make sense if you want to get a good running game. I mean, Pete Carroll there. When did Pete Carroll succeed the most as a head coach? With Marshawn Lynch as a running back. So maybe that makes sense. They don't have who's the running back that went to the
Jacobs.
Game? Yeah, Josh Jacobs. Maybe they do. I don't know. I could see that happening. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes 6 there.
Yeah, I just think he's just too good of a talent. I mean, I get it. The position is devalued. And these teams in the top 10 probably have more needs. So that's the argument against it. But it's like you want to talk about generational. Like we talked about Paul Skeens earlier. There is a chance that Ashton Jeanty is quasi-generational, right? A running back of 3, 5, 7 classes. And if that's the case, I think he's worthy of a top 10 selection. All right, Kevin's going to join us on the other side, but we did promise you Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan tickets. This will be May 15th at the North Island Chula Vista Amphitheater. Caller 5, you are going. The number to call is 877-767-4760. All you need to do is call right now. Caller 5, you have 2 free tickets to see both Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan at the North Island Chula Vista Amphitheater. This is May 15th. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. And again, the number to call, do it right now. Caller 5, you're going. 877-767-4760. So Kevin was there firsthand. He will react to the first Padres loss of the season, but his overall thoughts on the first 8 games of the year as well. As the Padres fall in Chicago to kick off their first road trip of the season, they lose 3-1, but Kevin Acee will join us next on Jon and Jim.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless.
The biggest slowdown we have is down the coast, southbound 5 from Cannon to just past La Costa, where a crash occurred in the left lane. It's slow southbound 163 from Friars to Balboa Park to the 5, and southbound 805 almost clear, just a little slowing from the 163 to the 15. I'm Laura Kane.
Ready for the special season that's not on any calendar? It's free phone season. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless this tax season and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com.
Hey everyone in San Diego, this is Chris Hodge, the longtime host of Sports Investors Daily, sponsored by TakingVegas.com. We will be on every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. local for the next 35 Saturdays, breaking down sports wagering as a business. The number remains the same, 888-9-WIN-NOW, 888-994-6669. Also, text the word WIN to the number 545454 for daily free picks. And be sure to listen to me with Jon and Jim every Thursday afternoon at 4:30 local.
Hey, it's Big Rich. I used to deal with intense back pain. I couldn't play in the yard with the kids at times. Anti-inflammatories and physical therapy appointments didn't help. Then I discovered the Good Feet arch supports. They are game changers. Go to goodfeet.com or check out the Good Feet store locations in San Marcos, Carmel Mountain, or Mission Valley.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Wait, before you dig, know what's below. CPL specializes in utility locating to keep your projects safe. Visit cpldetection.com. Again, that's cpldetection.com. CPL, the company contractors trust.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
It's never been done before. iHeartRadio and America's favorite TV show, Wheel of Fortune, come together for 1 week only. Music lovers from across the country play for incredible iHeartRadio experiences.
iHeartRadio Jingle Ball Concert. Music Festival. iHeartRadio Music Award.
And you can win too. Play along all week at wheeloffortune.com and you could find yourself at an unforgettable iHeartRadio event.
Start spinning. Good luck.
Starting Monday.
iHeartRadio Week on Wheel of Fortune with me, Ryan Seacrest. Check it out.
KGB and KGB FM HD2 San Diego. Number 1 on your car radio preset. And on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. We never sounded so good.
This update is brought to you by the Jim Patrol Real Estate Team. Padres suffer their first loss of the year, losing to the Cubs 3-1. Game 2 of their 3-game series tomorrow morning, 11:20 first pitch. Nick Pivetta will be on the mound for the Padres. Tomorrow, the Final Four gets underway. First up, Florida takes on Auburn at 3 p.m. Houston and Duke tip off at 5:45. You can listen to both those games right here on your home for March Madness, San Diego Sports 760. And then the nightcap, San Diego FC takes on Seattle Sounders. 7:30 kickoff, 7 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on the station. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Patrell has the buyers. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
It's Jon and Jim to warm up that drive home.
I don't think there's any reason to really react to it other than to react to it because it's 1 of 162, but I don't think there's anything that played out here today that is anything that I'd concern myself with.
I agree. They're going to lose games this year. They had a chance in the 9th to tie this thing up, which shows that they're going to fight to the end.
Now, time for Jon and Jim. Kevin Acee on San Diego Sports 760. Brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino and Resort, the Players Palace.
All right, let's kick off hour 4, Jon and Jim, and go back to Chicago, where the Padres do suffer their first loss of the season. Kevin wrote about it, of course, today in the UT as the Cubs win it 3-1, their home opener. The Padres are now 7-1 on the season. So, Kevin, we always appreciate it, and I think a lot of today had to do with Randy Vasquez, who gave the Padres a chance to win, maybe without his best command. What was the reaction post-game, whether it was from Mike Shildt or Padres players, to the start that Randy Vasquez had today? 4 2/3 innings, ultimately charged for that second run in a 3-1 loss.
The most interesting thing out of the whole post game was Martin Maldonado just said that Vasquez got a little too cute in the 5th inning, and the problem in the 1st inning is he could not throw his cutter anywhere but the left-handed batter's box. The problem in the 5th inning, he got his command back. Obviously, retired 12 in a row, and in the 5th inning, got the first 2 outs, and then was just missing. As a matter of fact, the ball 4 to the batter before Suzuki, but the ball 4, it would have been the 3rd out. It was a full count, was a strike, and it was called a ball.
Kyle Tucker.
Neither here nor there, but it's like he just missed. Vasquez did. So you're right. That's a really interesting way to put it. He gave him a chance to win, even though he also walked 4 guys, and the 4 walks were 2 in one inning, 2 in another inning, and they're the reason they lost.
I think the batter was Kyle Tucker, Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker.
What is the point being that he was barely missing.
Yeah.
The 1st inning, he wasn't anywhere near the strike zone most of the time.
Yeah, and you could attribute that to maybe the weather, right? Couldn't get a good grip on the ball. I think a lot to do with the weather. The game today had to do with the weather. Like Xander Bogaerts should have had a home run today, and the wind brought it back.
Maybe, 2 of them.
Yeah.
2 of them.
2 of them.
This is the summer here. The wind here is weird, but it's also a little predictable. When it's cold, it's generally blowing in. He has 2 bombs if it's summer.
And back to Randy Vasquez here, in 2 starts, his ERA is good. Hasn't given up a bunch of runs. He had 6 shutout innings in his, debut. And today, he didn't, have a blow up as far as on the scoreboard goes, but to the point of through 10 2/3 this year, he has 9 walks on the season. And that, to me, I feel like to stay in this rotation, like you're going to have to throw strikes.
Yep, just like last year, it was kind of the hits. I mean, he had a fair amount of walks, but not like this. It was that he was letting, spraying hits all over the place. He's actually done a really good job to pitch selection. I think Martin Maldonado being paired with him, they're giving that a lot of credit, and it does seem that it's playing out. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Look, they lost today. But this is like the kind of thing you keep an eye on, right? For a team that you expect to be contending. You're like, okay, Randy, all right. Just like you keep an eye on Yuli Gurriel and Jason Hayward. And yeah, and you also then obviously keep an eye on how is Stephen Kolek and others doing down in AAA, and is there a better option? And when Yu Darvish comes back, who is it that leaves? So Randy's got to be aware of that too.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He's with us right now, Jon and Jim. San Diego Sports 760. Just to get into this game briefly more, because you were there, I was watching on TV. When Yuki Matsui came in and there was the ground ball on the left side, the Bogarts fielded but went to second, and he was late, and that led to the Cubs taking a lead they wouldn't relinquish. Did Bogarts have a play at first there, in your opinion, or not?
I think so, and I watched it several times. And the Bogarts said that that's where he should have gone, though he possibly was only second-guessing himself because it didn't work out. I don't know what you saw, but I thought he at least had a chance at first, and it was clear from the start he had no chance at second.
Yeah, and
it was a tough play either way.
Yeah, tough play.
Yeah,
and then the next play, I think it was Manny couldn't, get the ball there, and so it kind of just snowballed a little bit on them. Kevin, Martin Maldonado, he had the home run today. I've been very critical of Martin Maldonado. Like, he was not good last year at all, but getting this from him feels like we talk about guys getting hot streaks. Like, this is a hot streak for Martin Maldonado to start the year.
Is it like 3 for 9?
Yeah, like he's hot right now, Kevin. He's hot.
Yeah. He's got a couple hit lists, but you're right. He had those 2 hits in his first game. And look, I don't want to say it, and I'm sure you guys have talked about this and feel somewhat similar, that like kind of whatever they get from these guys is a bonus. And by that, I mean whatever they get above like even an acceptable number, right? Like Martin Maldonado batting 119 again is not okay, right? Elias Diaz doing what he did when he came here last year, or I guess even all of last year, is probably not okay. Like, it's funny that we think of catchers as kind of extraneous a little bit, or you come to accept them if they give you good defense and they give you the occasional pop. But look what Kyle Higashioka did last year. And if you look at playoff teams in the last couple of years, not all of them, but a lot of them, the overwhelming majority, have guys that give them at least a 700 OPS, but that would be a huge bonus for these two.
Kevin Acee with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Do you think that this is the spot that Luis Arraez will be batting in for most of the year? It's hard to find another spot for him. It has nothing to do with his start. He'll hit. I mean, it's so few games. And he's batting second. We know last year he batted first, and he's hit leadoff a lot in his career, but not solely leadoff in his career. Is there anywhere else that Luis Arraez ultimately finds his spot in this lineup, or do you think he's going to be ticketed for this 2-hole?
I like the 2-hole. What are you thinking? Like 3? I don't know where you go with you can drive in runs if guys get on. But like,
what do you think? Jim and I talked about this earlier.
Yeah, I like him in the 2 because I like him in the 1, but like that, I think that's wholly dependent on Fernando Tatis Jr., who has obviously been a great success there, right? That on its own though doesn't mean Fernando should be there. But like then if you put Arraez there, Arraez needs to start getting hits. So I will say this, Arraez had 2 more balls today, and it's difficult to describe because he never has a lot of exit velocity. But he had 2 more balls today that like 2 inches in their hits. And it's like he's just missing. I don't see another spot really. I'm curious as to what you guys think.
Well, we were talking about it earlier, and obviously this is not MLB The Show video game, but if it were, I would just say, screw it. Tatis 1, Merrill 2, Manny 3, but then you have the decision of like, where do you put Arraez? You don't want to put him in the middle of the lineup. And then also if Xander, was, performing better at the plate, it's early, obviously, but, having him hitting cleanup would be fine. Just the last couple of years hitting in the middle of the lineup, he's really not driving in many runs, but, yeah, I don't know, Kevin. It's just I love Tatis in the leadoff spot, but Arraez, you don't really know where else to put him other than 2, right?
That's really the thing, right? Like, you made good points about where guys are, except, well, then where's Arraez? I mean, I just don't see, like, unless this keeps going for like a month or more. I mean, talk about a guy who's got the benefit of the doubt that he's going to, have a reel off a couple 4-for-4s or something. Gosh, it's hard to think of him. I think they're not in a good place if Arraez isn't doing what Arraez normally does.
Which is just, it's going to happen. Again, we had this conversation earlier as well. It would be one thing if we were having this conversation about a player that the last couple of years didn't perform and got off to a slower start. Then maybe you'd have some of the earlier, maybe Xander, for example. Like if Xander was, 3 for his first 3 under 100, maybe you'd say, oh, wow, what's going on?
It's not like he's striking out.
Sorry,
I don't know what's happening there. I'm hoping that's not me.
No, that is definitely us, Kevin. John's in Palm Springs right now. He is broadcasting live from Palm Springs. So
I wondered what sort of the delay was. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think you're right, and I think, like, it's funny with Luis, right? Like, he's being more selective this year. It's too early for me to really ask about it because it's it's so early. But like, well, gosh, maybe they just let him go back to being chase guy and all that. I don't know. But like, he's not striking out. He's not missing. Like, it's not like one of those, right? Mm-hmm. So he's so hard to figure. All we saw was last year, and half of that was with the wrist injury. But you're right, man. Come on, 3 batting titles in a row, like hitting like no one else. I just don't. Yeah. We can still talk. We can talk about it in a month if he, is batting 119.
Yeah, it's like you have to give him the benefit of the doubt, because if you don't, then you're just like, I don't know, you're just hating, because like his track record is that of a 3-time batting champion the last 3 years. It wasn't like he was a 3-time batting champion, 10 years ago. It like just happened. But there was one thing here, Kevin, and I don't think you saw it on the broadcast, but it was during Sunday Night Baseball against the Braves, and I think Buster only asked Shildt about Tatis in the leadoff spot, and Shildt mentioned this is not verbatim. He mentioned something along the lines of like, even if guys don't like where they're hitting, we're going to put what we think is the best lineup together. Would you read into that at all?
It's an interesting phrase. Interesting. I don't think Arraez is thrilled, but like, just like he wasn't thrilled to be DH last year, right? And he batted whatever. I think if he's not thrilled, right? If he's not thrilled, that's an if, that he's making the best of it. He's saying all the right things and he's playing really hard and all that. Gosh, I haven't gotten any indication of that, but that certainly is an interesting. I don't know how the question was asked. I don't know the context, but that's a really interesting answer.
Yeah, he brought it up on his own too.
They're going to need him to hit.
That's a slip by Shildt. He was extremely careful.
Yeah, definitely it was. Like, I think me and John were texting back and forth when that happened. I was like, oh, that's interesting that he said that. So
if it means anything, it was a slip. I don't know, but I'll tell you what, now you got my radar up. So thanks, guys.
You're welcome. There you go. All right.
Kevin, appreciate it, man. Have a good weekend in Chicago. We'll do it on Monday from Sacramento.
Right on. Take care.
All right. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino and Resort, the Players' Place. We'll react on the other side. Jon and Jim.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Jamul Casino.
There's a crash on Mira Mesa Boulevard, the on-ramp to southbound 15. It's over on the right shoulder. Also hit and run southbound 5 at the rest area along the coastline. Traffic slow from Las Pulgas down into Carlsbad. I'm Laura Kane with a check on your freeways.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego with the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, where you can play your heart out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. Opening this summer, Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. Learn more at jamulcasino.com.
Sugary beverages come with not-so-sweet health risks. Visit uncoverhealthyhabits.com for more.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you do own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey guys, it is Schaefer and Loan Pronto is the leader quickly your home equity. It's a cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards to start that home remodel. Easy options to let you access the cash from your home with virtually no paperwork and no cumbersome process and no junk fees and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out, paid off all their credit cards, a couple of car loans, a personal loan, cutting their monthly expense by over $1,500. Huge money. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull. LoanPronto.com or 619-207-4336. Get the money you need for anything. 619-207-4336 or LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Building or remodeling your dream home takes just a few ideas, a little imagination, and the project people from Dixie Line Lumber and Home Centers. Whether you're considering customized outdoor living with new furniture, patio cover, or decking, thinking about brightening your home with new energy-efficient doors and windows, or getting the kitchen and bath remodel you've always wanted, Dixie Line's project people are with you from start to finish. Look in your mail for Dixie Line's project ideas and savings catalog. Great ideas, big savings. Dixie Line Lumber and Home Centers.
Ready for the final games of the college basketball tournament? What if you could do more than watch? What if you could make money on the outcome? Now you can with Kalshi, the first platform legally available in all 50 states where you can trade on real-world events. Sports, Bitcoin prices, upcoming elections, even the Oscars. Kalshi helps turn predictions into profit. Use code RADIO or sign up and get $10 when you trade 100. That's Kalshi, Kalshi.com. Or download the Kalshi app and start trading anytime, anywhere.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
It's the Flex Zone.
Don't waste the first overall pick on one of these quarterbacks. That's what I would be saying if I'm in the Tennessee War Room, which is, I think, why they're trying to trade that first overall pick, because they feel pressure to take a quarterback and start building their franchise around a Shador or a Cam Ward.
Weekdays at high noon.
Because they're probably all getting fired if they don't take a quarterback. If I'm Tennessee, I'm fine with coming and getting the first overall pick next year, too.
Yeah. If I'm the GM, I'm taking Abdul Carter or trading the pick and being done with it.
San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Jim just solved the issue.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. So look at this. So Jim is. I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. Right? You can't. This is a joke. So Jim's like, I have an idea. Like, plug it into the Ethernet.
Well, that's what Mike Usher came in and told me. He's like, I gave Jon an Ethernet cable.
Yeah, but I need Ethernet on this side to do that.
It's called a router.
Well, I didn't realize that, but guess what? Look. Look at this. Look on the screen.
That's a router.
Yeah, so I plugged in the Ethernet.
Yeah.
And now I've got like the greatest connection in the history of the world.
Congratulations.
It was literally 2 feet away from me.
Oh my gosh.
For the last 4 hours. So Usher, next time tell me. I didn't know I could do that.
He gave you it though. That's like
But I didn't know. I figured I had to then have an Ethernet jack.
Mike's
in
looking
a wall.
It's because I told Jon about the Ethernet cable and he finally plugged it in and now the whole thing
is perfect.
It's perfect.
if not for 3 hours of awful radio, everything would have been perfect if we did that at 2 p.m. Why didn't someone tell me that 4 hours ago?
Everyone's looking at me like everyone did, but it's okay.
Listen, this thing's supposed to work. See this thing?
Yeah, but you're also like in an Airbnb with probably not great Wi-Fi.
Yeah, apparently it's awful.
So the next best solution is take the Ethernet cable that was given to you and find a router and plug it into the router
right here. Look at that beautiful router.
Yeah, it's great.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go to 10 o'clock now that I have good internet.
You sound perfect. Like literally, you sound perfect.
I know. It's just listen, the first 3 hours and 20 minutes weren't great, but man, these last 40 minutes are going to be terrific.
Oh, they're going to be beautiful.
I got to shake my head in disappointment for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Even a drop. All right. So we just had Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, with us. If you could hear that conversation, because I couldn't. And a lot of the conversation centers around Luis Arraez, which we talked about earlier, and I think it's way too premature to even have the conversation about either A, moving him in the lineup, or B, saying there's some type of concern with him hitting 129. Way too early. If it was someone else, I can have the conversation if you want. I'd still say it's early, but because it's Luis Arraez, I would use the term way too early.
Now, getting Kevin to raise his antenna is the last thing we said. I don't know if you heard, but like the Sunday night baseball game when Buster Olney was interviewing him in game, asking about Tatis in the leadoff spot, and then Mike Shildt, I got to go find this now. Mike Shildt kind of answering it with a, well, there might be some guys that might not like where they're hitting, but we're going to put the best lineup out there. He said that, right? I mean, you remember
He said that.
Yeah,
I was watching live.
Yeah, you remember that. And that's and so that is interesting. And I'm curious to see if anything comes of it. Now, if Luis Arraez starts hitting, who cares? But, if he doesn't, and this turns into a month-long thing where Arraez is healthy, but yet he's also not hitting, then maybe you kind of wonder, is it the mental aspect of it where he would rather hit leadoff than in the 2-hole because he's done his entire career, and he may be the person that Shildt may be referring to as like not that thrilled with not leading off now?
Would you do that? Because what does that mean for Tatis? It's like you start moving pieces of a puzzle. Do you necessarily put your puzzle back together? I would rather Tatis be Tatis than Arraez be Arraez. And that's with all due respect. I said that like the day the season started. Arraez is a brilliant hitter. I trust he'll figure it out. I think the more impactful offensive weapon among the two is Fernando Tatis Jr. because he can be like a top 3 player in the National League, where I don't think Arraez is capable of being a top 3 hitter in the National League when it comes to like slug and on base and power. So I don't know if I'm rocking the boat when everything is working for Fernando Tatis Jr. and Luis Arraez falls out of bed and hits. So he's going to have to figure it out if he falls out of bed and hits.
If Arraez is at his best, he's a batting champ and he's an all-star. When Tatis is at his best, he's an MVP. So who are you picking to have that player be unlocked? Is it the MVP or is it the batting champ? It's a fairly easy decision. It's Fernando Tatis Jr. When he's unlocked, he is MVP. He's an MVP caliber type of player. When Arraez is unlocked in the leadoff spot and he's hitting 320, hitting 330, that's, it's great. Don't get me wrong. That's awesome. But there's a definite ceiling with Luis Arraez. And if the ceiling on Fernando Tatis Jr. is much higher than the ceiling for Luis Arraez.
Yeah, the part of it that sucks is that both of these players are offensive weapons for you. These are plus players. So it's a much easier conversation if it's a conversation about Martin Maldonado.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And whatever, figure it out, who cares? Or, even just a struggling offensive player that, but when you're talking about Luis Arraez, who is a 3-time batting champion in each of the last 3 years, you certainly want it to be figured out. I just would say, back to where we started this conversation 5 minutes ago, this is not enough of a sample size for me.
No, not even close.
And I don't even know what that number is going to be. I'm with you on a month. I think if we look up at the end of April, which is a long time from now, and he's hitting sub 200, that would absolutely be cause for, I guess, alarm. I'd be surprised if he was hitting under 200 at the end of April. He could be hitting over 300 at the end of April. Truthfully, there's that much time until the end of the month. But I just can't react to it. 8 games, out of 162. I don't want to react to it really as of yet. But I also want to see him hit. And we know he's fully capable of doing that. And I'm with you. I think if at the end of April he's not hitting, you go under the hood and figure out as to why.
Absolutely. You got to give this time, and you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Just have to. if you're not going to give him the benefit of the doubt, that's on you. And I don't know how you could not do that because he's a 3-time batting champion as early as just last year. He's not a 15-year vet in his age 40 season that won 3 batting titles the first 3 years of his career when he was like 23 through 26. He's in his prime right now. And you got to let it just play out. And yeah, after the first month, if he's hitting 240 on the year, still it's for some players, it's great. For Martin Maldonado, that's a career year. But for Luis Arraez, there would have to be a little bit of concern, I feel like. Just like, is being in the 2-hole really messing with you? Or is there something off with your swing? Or what's the case here? Or are you just going through a slump that, a lot of players go through?
Like you said, I don't know if we would have the conversation if not for Mike Shildt's comments to Buster Olney. And I also don't know if we'd have the conversation if not for Luis Arraez batting second. If he was hitting 129 as a leadoff hitter, I'd say, well, he bat leadoff last year. Mm-hmm. So I can't necessarily figure it out. But maybe there is something more to Luis Arraez's slow start. But I'm not going to go there yet. I'll be willing to go there at some point, but I'm not willing to go there as of yet. Padres did lose today for the first time this year. I now have internet today for the first time today.
That segment sounded beautiful,
This
John.
is great. This is great. Why don't listen? Next time I do this, I'll connect to the Ethernet one segment earlier.
You mean
we'll only have 3 bad hours?
You mean connect to the router? That's what it's
Whatever.
called.
I don't know.
Connect to
I don't know.
Ethernet.
But this thing is awesome.
The cable is called the Ethernet cable, and
Look at
then
that.
what you plug that into is called the router.
Well, next time, let me. You know me with the internet, dude. I don't know anything.
John thought that was a smoke alarm.
It literally kind of looks like one.
It says on the front router, and then you use the word router, and I'm like,
oh my gosh, no way! The thing says router on it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
It literally says router.
Oh my! Of course it does. Of course
My
it
bad.
says. I'm sure on the side of it, underneath, it's like plug in for great internet connection as well.
Yeah, it says that on the bottom.
Oh, great, perfect.
I need to get one of these at home. This is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. More
You have
reactions
one,
to
I'm
Padres' first loss of the season.
take
This is
theirs.
great. What's that?
Just take theirs.
Just take theirs.
I don't think I can do that. All right, stay with us, Jon and Jim.
Hi, I'm Nicole Donnelly, and for 34 years, I've owned and managed Miramar Kitchen and Bath alongside my husband, Martin.
We treat every project like it's our own home, and we'll be with you every step of the way.
When you choose Miramar Kitchen and Bath for your kitchen or bathroom remodel, you're working directly with a husband and wife team who care about every detail. Because this isn't just business for us, it's personal.
At Miramar Kitchen and Bath, we believe your experience matters. That's why our experience matters.
Miramar Kitchen and Bath.
Contractor's license 657333.
Hey everyone in San Diego, this is Chris Hodge, the longtime host of Sports Investors Daily, sponsored by TakingVegas.com. We will be on every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. local for the next 35 Saturdays, breaking down sports wagering as a business. The number remains the same, 888-9-WIN-NOW, 888-994-6669. Also, text the word WIN to the number 545454 for daily free picks. And be sure to listen to me with Jon and Jim every Thursday afternoon at 4:30 local.
My name is Mac Davis, and I have been on the SOTA weight loss program for 14 weeks now. I have dropped 38 pounds.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's been remarkably easy to follow the program. It's been amazing.
SOTA weight loss works.
Who would have thought that I would be able to lose over 100 pounds? I thought that there was no way that I could do that without having some kind of invasive surgery or a diet pill or some other means.
Let SOTA weight loss teach you the healthy, natural way to let go of the weight for good.
The best decision I've made in a long time was just to call SOTA Weight Loss.
Join SOTA Weight Loss with your partner and only pay for one person. Lose weight together.
Double the motivation, double the results, half the cost. Take advantage of SOTA Weight Loss 2-for-1 partner program. Visit SOTAweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. SOTA is, say it with me, state of the art.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-352-9239. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-352-9239. 800-352-9239 or biglou.com.
Ow! Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door,
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey everyone, April is National Volunteer Month, and what better time to be a part of something big? Realize the Dream is rallying the nation to reach 100 million hours of service by Dr. King's 100th birthday in 2029. Every hour you give, every neighbor you help makes a difference. Whether it's volunteering at your local school, helping out at a food bank, or simply lending a hand to a friend in need, your actions matter. Let's build stronger communities and a better future together. Ready to make history? Head over to realizethedream.org and get started today.
San Diego Sports. Now.
This update is brought to you by the Jim Petrell Real Estate Team. Padres suffer their first loss of the year to the Cubs, 3-1. Next up, Game 2 tomorrow morning, 11:20, first pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. Tomorrow, the Final Four gets underway. First up, Florida and Auburn. Tip-off at 3 p.m. Following that game will be Duke and Houston. Of course, you can listen to those matchups right here on your home of March Madness, San Diego Sports 760. And then the nightcap, we have SDFC taking on Seattle Sounders. 7:30 kickoff, 7 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on the station. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Petrell has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
All right, Jim's back page coming up. Again, I figured out a little late in the show how to make the show listenable because I'm on remote in Palm Springs with my family. It's spring break for my son. And yeah, there's the internet, and I wasn't using the internet.
Did when I told you, because you texted me and you're like, I don't know what to do. I gotta go. This is bad.
I'm like, I'm out. This is bad.
And then thankfully Mike Usher came in and said, I gave him an Ethernet cable. And then when I texted you the word plug the Ethernet cable into the router, and then you look to your right or your left, wherever, however you are.
Yeah, my right.
And you saw that it was right there next to you. How stupid did you feel?
I didn't feel smart. To my credit.
Oh, you get credit here.
Said, the most avoidable thing ever. But to my credit, I never in a million years. I could have been on the moon, and I could have been next to a button on the moon to put me on Earth, and I never would have touched that button. Same thing here. I never in a million years would have thought that this thing has the internet. Like, you just plug the Ethernet into it.
So when you have internet at your house, John, do you know how you have internet?
No, it's wireless. I don't know.
What cable provider do you have, or internet provider do you have?
Cox.
Okay. So when the Cox person comes to your house and they tell you, here's the password for your router, do you understand that is where the internet comes from, and that you could just literally plug it in?
If it doesn't work, I unplug it and then I plug it back in, and that's the extent of it. But
you
never thought
plug
I
a cord into it, right?
About it.
So
I know
plug the cord into it, and then
it's listen. You live and you learn.
It's okay.
So the next time I'm in this exact Airbnb in Palm Springs and doing a radio show, I will have the knowledge and expertise for this to not happen.
And
again.
don't you, when you go do like remote basketball games and you have the equipment, don't you plug into the equipment, right, through cables? You don't use the 4G stick?
I don't use the 4G stick. To your point, like if we're at Viejas Arena, they would give me an Ethernet cord if we were at like the NCAA tournament, because that's way more reliable than this random 1995 stick that
Yeah.
I throw in the back of these. Anyway, all's well that ends well, right?
Mike Usher's looking at me like, are you serious right now?
By the way, it's so much better because there was a crazy delay.
Oh, there was too? Yeah. No.
Are you serious? Because now you're reacting to me in real time. Previously, when I was talking, you'd react to me like 100 seconds later.
My gosh. Well, at least we found this out in hour 4 of the show instead of hour 1.
It's troubleshooting. This is why you do it off air. So when you get on air, everything's fine.
Of course. And you
Like
let everybody
right
know
now.
about it.
Listen, it's like not everything always goes. It's like sports. It's like not everything always goes the way you hope it to go. Like what happened today at Wrigley Field, and they'll get back up and they'll play game 2 of this series tomorrow. So here's what the weekend looks like, as we've been touched on this. Final 4 you can hear right here, okay? Tomorrow on San Diego Sports 760. Come 7 p.m. Pacific, you can listen to San Diego FC. Tomorrow morning, the Padres are playing the Cubs in game 2 of their 3-game series. That's a full day, Jim. You can go from Padres as a fan, throw that on for a few hours, to the Final 4, throw that on for 5 hours, to San Diego FC, 7:30 Pacific, 7 o'clock pregame. That's a good sports day. Like overall, that's a hell of a sports day for a sports fan tomorrow.
Oh, great sports day, especially here on the station.
Yeah.
You can just listen to Final 4 action starting at 3 p.m., goes right into SDFC at 7:30, playing the Seattle Sounders. We got a full slate of sports action on our station. And then, of course, you can watch the Padres in the morning at 11:20. Like, tomorrow's a really good sports day for everybody out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I mean, what makes it better locally is, again, the Padres start. We have San Diego FC at home at Snapdragon Stadium. What's that crowd? Are you going to be there tomorrow night for San Diego FC?
I will not be there. That's the
Oh,
first
my
match that I will not attend at home. You still need to get out to a match, John.
Yeah, but in Palm Springs, they're not playing.
No, I know that. I'm just like telling you eventually.
I know I do need to. What are you doing tomorrow night that supersedes San Diego FC?
Well, I am going to spend some time with my wife, John. She deserves to have some time be spent with her, and I want to spend time with her.
Oh, over the doubleheader last week where you spent 12 straight hours at Petco and Snapdragon?
Right. I want to spend time with my wife, and tomorrow that's what I'm doing. By the way, once the SDFC game starts tomorrow night, if Duke and Houston, and they will be still playing, you can listen to that game over on our old station, 1360. So it'll just move right over there once SDFC starts at 7 p.m.
For all the discussion today about the Padres, the Dodgers, who are also unbeaten heading into today, have fallen behind in Philadelphia tonight, Jim, to the score of 3-0 in the 7th inning. Now, they came back from 5 runs down just the other day against Atlanta, but the Dodgers' undefeated season is also in jeopardy today with their first road game of the year.
So when they lose, if they lose here, do you think Major League Baseball will be like, now there's no more undefeated teams, or to protect the Dodgers brand, will they even tweet that out?
No, probably not. They'll be like, still only one undefeated team, the 8-1 Dodgers. Undefeated, 8-1.
They're still amazing, even though they lost the game, but we just won't look. They're going to tweet out a GIF, the I pretend I do not see meme.
Yeah. No, you know what they're going to do? They're going to send out a tweet that says the first World Series champion ever to start a season 8-0. That's
Right.
what they're going to send out.
Exactly.
When they lose their 9th game, they'll say they're the first World Series champ ever to start a season 8-0. The point is, the season is long. We'll see how the Padres play this weekend against the Cubs. I'm curious. I thought Nick Pivetta in his Padres debut was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That was last week at home. He was brilliant. He'll be on the mound tomorrow. Then we'll see Kyle Hart, who I think pitched effectively enough, obviously, in his Padres debut. And then we get back to King and Cease. That'll be in Sacramento. So I'm curious to see how this road trip shakes out. I really am. And even the next 2 days with Kyle Hart pitching one of these 2 games in Chicago and this being the first road trip of the season. But, again, it's so early. And because of the way they started, I'm not really concerned. To your point, you go 3-3 on this trip, you're coming home 10-3. I think Padres fans would be thrilled with that. That's a great start. There's been a lot of years they haven't started 10-3 and have had good teams.
I can tell you this, with the start the Padres have had, and even the way they played today, it wasn't the best game, obviously. Like, they made mistakes. They didn't capitalize on moments. They didn't execute well enough. Too many walks by the pitching staff. Still, I am so excited to watch this team play tomorrow morning. Like, I want it to be 11:20 a.m. like right now. That's right. This team has made you really excited to watch them play baseball through the first week plus of the season with how they have played. And I can't wait to watch Nick Pavetta's second start tomorrow. I can't wait to watch the weekend series, remaining with the Cubs and going into next week. The Padres have made it must-watch television. They're already must-watch in the first place, but even more so through the first week of the season, week and a half, you just, okay, move on. When's the next game start? Because I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I was fully convinced heading into today. I really was. When Maldonado hit that home run, I'm like, they'll find a way. I really felt that. And the bullpen, I thought, would preserve the tie. They didn't. I even thought they'd score in the ninth. They had two in scoring position in the ninth inning with 2 outs. They were such a clutch team a year ago, specifically in the second half. And again, you're not going to win every single time you step on a baseball field. That's basically the moral of today's story. That's where Kevin led his postgame article. You can't win every day. And that's what Mike Shildt essentially said as well postgame following the Padres' first loss of the year, 3-1 in Chicago to the Cubs.
And you know what, too?
Internet.
It's great. You can actually hear me like on time, right?
Oh, everything's so great. I might just stick around after the show and just talk to myself.
We need to make up for the first 3 hours of the show by doing another 3 hours after them. I'm sure Kristen would love that.
It was only 3 hours and 20 minutes that were screwed up.
That's it? What was
no, Brent told me it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. We're just ribbing you. We're obviously making you feel like you're an idiot.
Like, the thing is, I'm not overly concerned.
No, I know. But if I were in that situation, you would not let me hear the end of it.
I would never let you hear the end of it.
Correct. I would be.
But I never would have
shamed.
suggested to you plug it into a router.
Right, because you wouldn't have known. You don't know what a router is.
I learn. You learn something new every day.
How old are you again?
44.
You learned what a router is when you're 44. Congratulations.
All right. Jim's back page on the other side here until 6, Jon and Jim.
San Diego Sports 760's NCAA basketball tournament coverage is brought to you by Valley View Casino and Hotel. San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
On southbound 5 at Laurel Street, there's a crash. It's in the center divide and right shoulder. Doesn't seem to be affecting traffic. Southbound 5 off the split, pretty good into National City. And a crash southbound 805 after Palm in National City is on the right shoulder. I'm Laura Kane.
It's a race to the rebate finish line. Homeowners are saving $500 instantly with Anderson Plumbing's water heater buyback program and qualifying for instant rebates.
I better call before rebates run out.
Book today at AndersonPHA.com. Nobody wows clients like we do.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey guys, it is Schaefer. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out, paid off their credit cards, 2 car loans, a personal loan, cutting their monthly expense by over $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 619-207-4336. Get the money you need for anything, 619-207-4336 or LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Good Feet store, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. Visit goodfeet.com.
John is in a hot tub on his vacation. He earned 20,000 points by spending $2,000 with his Navy Federal Credit Union More Rewards card. To be clear, you don't have to vacation in a hot tub to redeem this offer. But John did, because the bubbles make him happy. Right now, you can earn 20,000 points when you spend $2,000 in the first 90 days. Offer ends January 1st, 2026. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Visit NavyFederal.org for details.
Come catch all the big tournament action and cheer on your favorite team at OG's. Stop in and try the featured fried lasagna or burrata bruschetta and pesto crostini. And end the meal with a brookie cookie bake. OG's is the place to catch all the exciting tournament action. And don't forget, if you come into your favorite location, you'll be entered for the chance to win a custom OG's beach wagon. Whether it's a featured menu item, OG sticks, or your favorite brew, OG's has it all. Find your nearest location at OG's.com.
Hey, it's Fletch, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. 10 million members, billions of dollars awarded and winning so far. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app, super easy to use to create a lineup. You just pick more or less on a few player stats for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money this baseball season. Springtime is here. Baseball season officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Download the app today. Use promo code FLETCH, FLETCH, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code FLETCH on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game all around the bases all season long on Prize Picks.
Ready for the final games of the college basketball tournament? What if you could do more than watch? What if you could make money on the outcome? Now you can with Kalshi, the first platform legally available in all 50 states where you can trade on real-world events. Sports, Bitcoin prices, upcoming elections, even the Oscars. Kalshi helps turn predictions into profit. Use code RADIO or sign up and get $10 when you trade 100. That's Kalshi, Kalshi.com. Or download the Kalshi app and start trading anytime, anywhere.
Hi, this is Jason Smith. At Tractor Supply, we know that a winning season out here takes practice, teamwork, and a can-do attitude. Thankfully, when it comes to teamwork, it's great to have a neighbor like Tractor Supply. No matter the season, our team members are here to help. Like you, they know that nothing beats the feeling of seeing all your hard work pay off. Whether you're caring for pets, chickens, or a few acres, we have everything you need to get the most out of life out here, season after season. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
We have arrived. San Diego FC. Every goal.
It's a little Aaron. Negative goal.
Every save.
Save. CJ Dos Santos says no.
Every minute of San Diego FC MLS soccer action.
It's a beautiful game in Major League Soccer, San Diego FC.
And it all lives on one station. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
All right, final time. Jon and Jim, this has gone smoothly.
You sound great,
over
Jon.
the last 4 hours. Everything's great. I'm in Palm Springs. Jim's in San Diego. My son's on spring break. We'll be back with you Monday right here on San Diego Sports 760. Another conversation with Kevin before the Padres A series in Sacramento on Monday. And, of course, we're getting you ready as well for the national championship game. We'll have pregame coverage on Monday at 4 p.m., so a 2-hour show to lead you up to pregame coverage for the national championship game.
Everything's awesome. Everything's great.
Everything's going to be great. What time is that game Monday in Sacramento? Is that 7 or 7:15, you said?
Good
Run
question.
through the remaining schedule, Jim, this year.
No, that's only a bit for the wrap-up show. We're not doing that on the radio.
7:05.
7:05. So, but just real quick here.
Yeah.
So the Padres play tomorrow morning at 11:20 a.m.
Okay.
All right. Great start to the year. Like, literally best start in franchise history.
Yeah.
Right. If they lose tomorrow morning and the game, whenever the game ends, whatever, there will be, if they lose, in third place in the division.
Is that right? Because the Giants won today, you're telling me.
Giants just walked off the Mariners, their home opener.
Wow.
They're 6-1.
Okay.
If the Padres lose tomorrow morning, they'd be 7-2. So technically, by percentage points, they would be in third place in the NL West when they just got off to the best start in franchise history. Yeah.
You know what I would say to that? Yeah. You know what I would say to that? It's April 4th.
But my point is not the fact that I'm trying to be a Debbie Downer. It's that the NL West to start the season has been red hot. Now, I don't know what the D-backs are doing right now in Washington. Oh, they're winning. They're winning 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning over the Nationals. So if they win that game, they're 5-3. Giants are 6-1. Padres are 7-1. Dodgers, if they lose, they would be 8-1. Good division.
Here's what I would say to you, Jim. Have patience, young Padawan. I don't even know what that means or if it's relevant, but I'm saying it's April 3rd.
I mean, it's not really relevant, but I mean, it kind of makes sense, right?
Thank you.
It makes
Let's
sense.
get to it.
It's time for Jim's Back Page.
I got to blame the fans and the media. And after that, it's the lineman's fault, it's the coach's fault, the owner's fault, the turf, referees.
Today's stories that you might have missed.
Would you, John, buy a
router?
What?
A router?
You already have a router at your house. You just don't know what it looks like.
Right.
Would you buy any painting just ever for
I've never
$4,000?
been a painting guy. Like, if I've got money in the bank, I'm not like, yo, let me break out like $40K to put a painting on a wall. You know, I feel like there's a better usage of money than paintings, but I'm not Mr. Art.
Well, I was going to ask you, would you buy a painting for $4,176? Probably the answer is
very
no.
unlikely, unless the painting was of like, I don't even know. Very unlikely.
Well, somebody bought an oil painting on eBay for $4,176. The oil painting, John, was of Sour Patch Kids.
What? That's hilarious.
Somebody bought a original painting from Noah Verrier, the same person that had the oil painting of a PB&J Crustable, on eBay. It sold last night for $4,177.
I mean, imagine having $5,000 to just waste. That's what I would say.
That's exactly what I would say.
Yeah.
But, because on the back page, we talked about the oil painting of a Crustable selling for over $5,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Sour Patch Kids sells for $4,100.
Same buyer, maybe?
Maybe. The Grateful Dead. That was Bill Walton's favorite band of all time. Yep. Now you can buy an original poster from the first ever live Grateful Dead show at an auction. The poster says, "Can you pass the acid?"
That was from the first ever show?
A homemade poster from the Grateful Dead's first live ever show is up for auction. Now, it does not say how much the bidding is at right now. Actually, wait.
What year?
1965.
Ooh.
It will sell later this month at an auction via Heritage, which is like a famous auction site. I'd stand corrected. The first bid, the current bid right now, minimum is $10,000.
Wow.
For
what hippie's going to be able to afford that?
Exactly. The poster, it's kind of crazy. It says, "Can you pass the acid test? 38 S 5th Street." I don't know exactly what that means, but
it was a book.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Good job, Brent. There you go. All right. The first, a poster from the first ever Grateful Dead concert. There you go.
What else you got?
Finally, John, did you know, not at our zoo, but the Philadelphia Zoo, for the first time in 150 years, the Philadelphia Zoo has a new addition to the tortoise family, John. The zoo announced the hatching of 4 critically endangered species of tortoises. They estimate that these tortoises could live to around 100 years old.
So wait, the zoo's been around for 150 years, and this is the first time they've had a tortoise born there?
It's the first time that a tortoise has been born, these types of tortoise, for a critically endangered species of tortoises.
Do you think that has inspired the Phillies tonight against the Dodgers?
The tortoises at the zoo.
Playing for the new tortoise family.
The new tortoise family. Yeah, that's pretty cool. New family of tortoises at the zoo. Endangered species. I like that. Wish it was at San Diego Zoo, but you know.
Yeah, I thought you might tell me like pandas or something.
See, John doesn't care unless it's pandas.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like in the zoo world, like if you're not telling me about pandas, what are you really telling me? Like, show me the sausage, not how it's made.
So listen to this real quick. So the mother tortoise arrived at the zoo in 1932.
What?
Meaning that anybody that has visited the zoo for the last 92 years has likely seen her. Philadelphia Zoo's vision is that those hatchlings will be part of the thriving population of Galapagos tortoises on our healthy planet 100 years from now.
So she had a tortoise at the age of 92?
Yeah, John.
Wow.
Tortoises aren't like humans, so.
Well, yeah, they're tortoises.
Yeah, they can live up to 80 to 150 years.
Yeah, they have like shells.
Some
that are
reaching
green.
200 in exceptional cases, it says.
200?
Yeah.
Imagine living 200 years as a tortoise, and there's not a lot going on.
The Philadelphia Zoo is home to 3 adult Galapagos tortoises, including the 4 hatchlings. So now there are 7.
Incredible story that you're not getting anywhere else.
Incredible
in San Diego.
perseverance by the tortoises.
No one else in San Diego is aware of the Philadelphia Zoo having more tortoises.
No, that's the only place you're going to get that news is here on the Jon and Jim show.
You're not getting that elsewhere.
No, you aren't.
All right, join us tomorrow. Full day of sports right here on San Diego Sports 760, including the Final Four and San Diego FC. Then join us Monday at 2 p.m. Full reaction to the Padres weekend in Chicago with Kevin Acee on the show. I thought this went seamlessly and swimmingly today. We'll do this more often. I'm in Palm Springs for the weekend. Jim is in San Diego. If you missed anything today, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio app. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Have a great weekend. Keep it here, San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored